His face was pale, his eyes bewildered. This person was my master. Don't judge him by his appearance. He is the Devil Face, the leader of the Black Flower, a notorious organization of assassins and spies. He made the Death Sect fear him just by wearing a killer mask for more than 180 minutes a day. His handsome face was gone. Nam Kong Mei was the youngest son of one of the 5 great families, the Nam Kong clan. While his siblings were recognized as outstanding geniuses who brought glory to the family, he was only a useless person who ruined everything he did. To avoid bringing shame to his father, the Nam Kong Patriarch sent him to the White Martial Hall of the Vo Men to train. His eldest brother, out of jealousy, threatened him. Don't let your weakness disgrace the family like the other kids. Mei was assigned to the class of T, one of the 12 classes of the White Martial Hall. A person appeared from the sky with a powerful aura. He was Young Haiyu, a master known as the Demon Sword. Everyone thought he was their master, but he was only an assistant. Your master is this great person. A dark figure came from afar, emitting a terrifying aura that made the kids scream. But when he got closer, he was no different from a night owl. A silly smile, dark eyes like he had just drunk blood. The assistant then introduced him as your Devil Face Master. He is the infamous leader of the Black Flower, I'm sure you've heard of him. Instead of admiring him, the kids started whispering. It seems that this old master is a fake. He looks weak and nothing like the real one. This made the assistant Young Haiyu angry and he released his aura, knocking down all of them. His strength was indeed formidable. He turned to the Devil Face, but he had fallen face down more than the students without anyone noticing. It was really bad luck. Among the students, there were also many outstanding ones. For example, Moyam Bo, a genius of one of the 5 famous families. His family was especially hostile to Melon's family. It was a disaster. Oil, even though he hated him, he didn't dare to attack him directly. There were also Wan Pu of the Shaolin and Gami of the Jiga. They were not only excellent in appearance, but also intelligent. That girl was coincidentally his childhood friend. But she ignored him because of his fame. He was the useless young master of the famous Nam Kong clan. The first lesson was just like that. After the roll call, everyone was allowed to go back to the dormitory. As soon as he got back to his room, young Bo started to practice his chi. While the others were still complaining about this place being like a warehouse, the useless waste like Mei was compared to them. He would never give up, he had to be acknowledged by his elder brother. He took a wooden sword and went out to the yard to practice diligently. Time passed like that for a week. While the others were still having fun and dancing, Mei practiced his sword every day. Finally, the assistant Young Haiyu called them to gather in the field. It was still like the first day. The Devil Face Master called a few names and then announced that everyone else had been eliminated. This made all the students stunned. The kids started to scream and ask what was going on. Did the masters look at our backgrounds and see that we were not of the same class, so they kicked us out? The master had to explain slowly. In the past week, I have observed you, your habits, personality, characteristics, strengths, weaknesses, everything has been seen. I even gave you a sign, I was watching. Mei didn't understand why she was eliminated like the others in a week when she had been very diligent in training. Was it because she didn't notice the sign? The students were still not convinced, so the master with the devil face gave them a test. Just touch the assistant once and you can pass. This is the last chance for everyone. The assistant took a branch to fend off all the attacks of the kids. He was quickly surrounded by them. But their weak attacks couldn't touch him at all. Even Mei's sword was easily dodged. In less than an hour, everyone seemed to be exhausted and started to give up, except for the one who was considered a waste, Nam Kong Mei. He used all his meager internal energy to rush to attack, but still couldn't touch the assistant. If this situation continues, he will be eliminated. Suddenly, Mei's body emitted a terrifying internal energy that was increasing. It turned out that when he was young, he was tricked by a bad guy into drinking a poison that attacked his internal energy. It would make the martial artist unable to use his martial arts. His father could only temporarily stabilize his internal energy, but once he used it, his meridians would become more chaotic. Mei's speed increased dramatically after using his internal energy, but he still couldn't hit the assistant. His momentum then became completely different from before. While Mei was trying to attack recklessly, the master had somehow intervened and knocked him down. But he also had to lie on the ground. He told Mei that he had passed, and asked him to look at his cloak. After taking Mei to the restroom, the master immediately realized what was wrong with him. It turned out that the cut on the assistant's cloak was also made by him. The assistant didn't understand, but he still trusted his senior's reason for choosing this boy. As soon as he opened his eyes, he was scared by the devil face. Now he was fully awake. Nam Kung Mei was taken to summon the disciples. The training session began, and he announced that he would choose a team leader. This would be done by the students themselves through the upcoming tasks. Everyone was determined to get this position. Even Nam Kung Mei wanted it. The master gave each person a small bag, which contained something very important. It could only be opened when they brought it to the top of that mountain. He would score them according to the order of arrival. It would be very dangerous. He would wait for them. Nam Kung Mei was very determined. Indeed, he was still lagging behind. When his friends had passed the tree line, but luckily they had broken all the traps. If it was him, he would have been doomed. They were awesome. With his superior strength, Mo Young Bo was the first to reach the top. But the master with the thick face seemed unhappy. He ordered Mo Young Bo to open the bag, which made him pale with worry. The disciples behind also opened it and found out that it was a sparrow. But it was very weak. He explained that what made the righteous sect different from the evil sect or the demon sect was the power of protection. Although Mo Young Bo arrived first, he was disqualified because the bird had died. Nam Kung Mei was also paralyzed because he finished last, even though he protected the bird. The first place was Degami, the second was Wan Pu, the third was Un Jiang. Moang Bo heard the teacher announce it but was not happy and left. The others sat and rested in place to continue studying in the afternoon. While resting, two guys from Class Hoi came wandering by. They saw Nam Kung Mei and laughed at him. They learned that Tang Weiju from Class Hoi was from Satrian, one of the 5 great families that specializes in poison and hidden weapons. He mocked, "How can a trash like you get in here?" Han Muji, his friend, also added that he was incompetent. Nam Kung Mei of the Nam Kung family. The others wanted to speak up for Nam Kung Mei. But the power of these two was too strong. They could not touch them, so they could not do anything. At this time, Moang Bo came back from outside and ignored the two guys. He shouted, "Get out of the way." The two guys heard that and turned around. They saw Moang Bo coming. Tang Q was surprised and muttered, "He is also in this class." Then he approached and greeted him, pretending to be familiar. But Moang Bo threw him a contemptuous look and walked by, not caring. Seeing that he was insulted in front of everyone, Tang Q went crazy and used a deadly move to attack Moang Bo, but was pushed back by a punch from him. He rushed to attack again, but was stopped by 2 teachers. The 2 guys left, and the master began to assign everyone to practice what was called Tuk Magic Duel, which was to lift a large stone slab up and down 1,000 times without using internal power. Nam Kung Mei struggled to finish, and saw that everyone else had finished long ago and sighed. Ji Gami came over and said that he was still weak as before. She said, "I wonder why the Nam Kung family let you come here instead of your other senior brothers and sisters." Nam Kung Mei replied, "I don't know either." Hearing that, she said, "You are really stupid. I am from the Daga family, so I will have to take over the military position in the central Vo Min. But one thing I don't understand at Bok Vo Quan is the master with the devil face. He looks like a fake. Everyone was shocked, and she began to talk about the devil face. In the memory of the adults, he was an unbeatable legend. But now in front of everyone, the master with the devil face was like a waste. After a while, everyone decided to test him to see if he was real or fake. At this time, in Class Hoi, Tang Weiju was crying and complaining to his class master Guma Ho that he was bullied and beaten by Class T and no one stopped them. Through his exaggerated words, Guma Ho was furious. He took the list of masters of each class and checked it. After seeing that the teacher was the devil face, he wondered if the leader of the Black Flower Gang was really as famous as the legend, and said, "Let Guma Ho teach him a lesson." He took his knife and went to Class T and shouted, "Devil face, why did you let your students beat up my students, and how do you want to solve it according to the martial arts rules?" Without waiting for anyone to explain, he started to attack the devil face. But no matter how many skills he used, he was easily dodged by the master with the devil face. Just as he put all his strength into the final move and the masked master did not intend to dodge anymore, assistant teacher Ong arrived in time to stop him. His job, given by the leader of the Vo Men sect Kwok Yun, was to follow the masked master and not let him do anything. The two fell into a stalemate just as Nam Kong Mei on the side screamed in agony. His eyes bled, and everyone stopped. The masked master hurried to support him. Guma Ho saw that and said goodbye, promising to come back another day. When he got home, Guma Ho sat down to practice his inner strength and muttered. Was he really the masked master? How could he dodge all of his attacks without any harm? Time passed, and at night he heard the voice of his master Guma Ho. He opened his eyes in shock and looked around. He saw no one and thought he had heard wrong, but then the masked master wearing a mask appeared in front of him and said, "Now can we compete according to your wishes?" Guma Ho stuttered. "Are you really the masked master?" Seeing that the masked master did not answer but only asked if he was ready, he went crazy. He grabbed his sword and jumped up to chop at the masked master. Seeing that, he only raised one finger, and the sword hit his finger and broke into pieces and fell to the ground. He did not stop there, but his finger continued to pierce through several holes in his chest and grabbed Guma Ho's neck. Fortunately, at that moment, he thought that this was not a life-and-death fight, but a competition, so he stopped and asked, "Do you still doubt me?" Guma Ho's eyes widened in horror and he stammered, No, I'm sorry. I have been rude to the masked master." Hearing that, the masked master only said, "I have just become your master for a short time, and there are many things that I need you to teach me later." Then he disappeared in Guma Ho's astonishment. He returned to his room and rested with Nam Kong Mei. At this time, Nam Kong Mei also woke up, and he asked, "What did you do to your eyes?" Nam Kong Mei replied, "I have seen everything." You deliberately avoided the attacks of Master Guma Ho. Hearing that, the masked master thought that it was thanks to that power that his eyesight improved. But he did not show it on his face and said, "You are mistaken. If Master Guma Ho did not let me, I would have died long ago." Nam Kong Mei insisted, "I am not mistaken. You really did that." At this time, the masked master said, "Do you know how dangerous that power is? It can even cost you your life. Why do you risk using it?" Nam Kong Mei heard that and said, "I am willing to sacrifice everything. Anyway, no one expects anything from me. I'm sure you have a way, please teach me." Hearing that, the masked master thought that this child was walking on the same path as he had. Who was the one who poisoned him with that poison and what was their purpose? He turned to him and said, "I will show you how to become stronger. Your dantian is not normal. It cannot contain inner strength, so you use inner strength that is unevenly distributed, so your moves are weak. Now there is only one way, that is to reverse your inner strength. Reversing is of the evil sect because it is very dangerous, so the righteous sect almost never uses it. Although it is a bumpy and perilous road, it will help you use the essence in your dantian. My principle is that I will teach you the next step when you have done well the previous one. After saying that, he opened the door and left. Nam Kung Mei left to practice. Thanks to the help of Wan Pu, he gradually felt his inner strength. A few days later, the basic training was over. Bok Vu Quan prepared to move on to the next training, the combat training. The elders from the sects came to Vu Min as guests. The goal was to escort them safely to their sect and gain more experience. And 12 classes had received the escort order. Elsewhere, the masked master was meeting with the leader and asking him to let his class train in combat in his own way. Hearing that, the leader replied, "Do you want to train them in the way of the Black Flower sect?" The masked master replied, "I only changed the training method to suit the abilities of the young ones. Also, I have something else to investigate. I will report to you when I am sure." Then he left. At the main gate of Bok Vu Quan, all the classes were gathering to receive the escort order. At this time, someone ran over and shouted, "Little brother Nam Kung Mei." It turned out to be Nam Kung Jiang, the younger brother of Nam Kung Mei, who also enrolled in the martial arts school and was in the Mui class. The two talked for a while and Nam Kung Mei learned that the content of his class was different from the others. While talking, Nam Kung Jiang had to leave to escort his class. The two said goodbye, and at this time only the people of the Thai class had not received the mission. Everyone was wondering when the masked master and assistant teacher Zhang appeared. They told everyone to follow them, everything had been arranged. When they got there, they found out that it was a caravan. At this time, a group of escorts appeared in front of them and were bullying them. Everyone stepped forward to help the caravan owner. After that, the caravan owner, Wang Xiaobang, invited them in for a drink and told them about the current situation of the caravan. After listening, the masked master spoke. "We came here to find you, we are the escorts who came to cooperate with the Sukjin caravan." Hearing that, everyone was amazed and opened their mouths. In another place, the three men who had just met the masked master and everyone else were reporting to Ca Dung, the owner of the Dung Trine caravan. It turned out that they were sent to pretend to be escorts to spy on the Sukjin caravan. On the side of the masked master, everyone had agreed with the caravan owner. He was telling his students, "We are not training for show, but we will do the mission directly. The escort route will surely encounter bandits, and the escorts are hired to deal with them." Then he collected all the weapons of everyone and said, "Assistant teacher Zhang brought out the weapons I prepared for everyone. First was Mo Young Ho, he gave him 10 old swords. Next was Yagami, she received a bamboo flute. It was Jiang's turn, and she received a string of darts. Wan Pu received a 3-section staff. Finally, it was Nam Kung Mei, he whispered in his ear. First of all, you have to catch up with your friends. Yang energy is like heaven, Yin energy is like earth, but you reverse them for each other. So what should I do now?" After thinking for a while, Nam Kung Mei spoke. "I have to reverse heaven and earth." In another place, there was an old man holding a gourd of wine and muttering, "No one saw me off, how lonely, don't they look down on the elder of the gang?" A few days later, the masked master stood in front of everyone and announced, "Now we officially start combat training. Our goal is to escort the caravan safely from Hanam to Habu. We don't know what will happen on the way, so we always have to be vigilant. Even if something happens, we have to protect the caravan and the goods. Also, at the end of this time, we will choose a team leader." Everyone moved until night and rested in the forest. Nam Kung Mei walked past a training area. He saw his master with a devilish face. He was about to ask him something, but his master chased him away to guard the car. He didn't understand what was going on, but he left anyway. After he left, his master spoke. You don't need to hide. Go ahead. At that moment, a group of people appeared. They didn't say much. His master put on a mask. The assassins also drew their swords and rushed forward. In a blink of an eye, more than a dozen assassins fell to the ground. Then, one of them shouted, "Mask, could he be the poisonous devil? Everyone, prepare the poison attack." Hearing that, his master laughed. "So, because of my other nickname, the poisonous devil, you think you can stop me with poison? You only know half of the truth, so you are mistaken. The poison in the devil is not the poison in the poison attack, but the poison in loneliness." As he spoke, he charged into the remaining ones. A while later, he sent a message to the assistant teacher, asking him to come over. When the assistant teacher arrived, all the assassins were lying on the ground. His master was sitting on a large rock in the middle. Seeing him, he took off his mask and said, "You are late, assistant teacher." The assistant teacher asked, "Did you kill them all?" He replied, "No, if it wasn't for the mission, I wouldn't kill them. I just broke all their joints and destroyed their energy centers. They were trained quite professionally. The force that wants to eliminate the Sukjayam trade group seems to be more powerful than we thought." The assistant teacher said, "Are the kids in danger? We have to end this training session." His master said, "No, continue the training. I need you to deal with the assassins. Leave the bandits to the kids. I have to leave this place for a while. Please take care of the class for me." Then he put on his mask and left. The next day, everyone continued on their way. After a while, the young master of the Sukjayam trade group, Wang Ji-hun, met a child named Jean Hill in a nomadic village nearby. Before, when it was destroyed, they often rested there. He told everyone that he often went with his grandfather to find herbs on the mountain. He turned to ask the child, "Why are you alone today? Where's your grandfather?" The child said, "My grandfather has a backache, so I went by myself today. Are you going to the village? Let's go together." Everyone happily agreed. A while later, they arrived at the village gate. Before they could rejoice, they saw corpses everywhere, and things scattered around. They hurriedly checked around. Finally, they found a few people who were still alive, but they were also seriously injured. Among them was the child's grandfather. He was taken care of until he woke up. He saw everyone and begged for help. He said, "Not only my daughter-in-law, but all the women in the village were kidnapped. We have to save them." Namkung Mei shouted, "We have to save them." Hearing that, the assistant teacher said, "I want to do that too, but our priority is to escort the trade group. This could be a trap. We can't leave the trade group alone." Namkung Mei didn't agree and said, "Even so, we can't sit still. What I learned in the White Dao Hall is to support each other and protect justice." Hearing that, Mao Ringbo and Yagami also agreed. The young master Wang Ji-hun also told the assistant teacher not to worry about the trade group. He said, "If we let them run rampant like this, we can't be at ease either." Seeing the determined faces of everyone, the assistant teacher thought that they were becoming more and more like righteous martial artists. He said, "Then, Class T, start the mission to rescue the kidnapped people. We will split into two groups, the rescue group and the escort group. The rescue group consists of Mao Ringbo, Gami, Wan Pu and me. The escort group consists of Unjiang and Namkung Mei. You two stay and protect the trade group." Hearing that, Namkung Mei was about to object, but the assistant teacher gave him something and said, "This is the signal flare of the enemy's flower bomb. If anything happens, shoot it into the sky and we will come right away." He accepted it but still hesitated. "Son, I want to go rescue them." Hearing that, Yagami spoke up. "You can't go, you won't be able to help anything." Hearing that, he lowered his head and clenched his fists, only saying, You guys must save them, okay? The four of them had just left for a while when they were ambushed by a group of bandits on the way. Because they were only bandits, the assistant teacher Jiang let the other three deal with them according to the instructions of the devil-faced master. The three of them fought for a while, and in their heads they all thought, why did the devil-faced master choose weapons that are not suitable like this? On the side of Nam Kung Mei, when he was patrolling the village with Jin Hyuk, they exchanged some things. After hearing that, he had a bad feeling. Maybe the robbers knew about this transport. As he was about to turn back, he ran into the assassins. Seeing the danger, he was about to use the signal flare, but the assassins didn't give him that chance. The leader threw a rope to tie him up and smashed the signal flare. He hung him upside down on a tree and ordered his subordinates to kill Jin Hyuk. Hearing Jin Hyuk's cry for help, he shouted to stop. Seeing that, they laughed even more and said, "You should despair, the weak are always trampled by the strong." Ha's despair reached its peak, making him remember his father's words. It is very difficult to be strong enough to protect others. But no matter how difficult it is, I still want to protect them. That is the reason why I really want to be stronger. At this time, the words of his master also echoed. I will tell you how to become stronger, first you have to reverse the flow. Thinking of that, he began to reverse the flow, a burst of power exploded in an instant, the chains were broken. He landed, grabbed Jin Hyuk and jumped back. The assassins were stunned and couldn't react. How could it be? Clearly just now when they fought, his internal strength was still weak. Now it's so much stronger. After putting Jin Hyun on the ground, he picked up his sword and stood up. As he stood up, he said, "The strong are not allowed to trample on the weak, but to protect them. That is the morality of the strong." The assassin snorted and replied, "You are young and don't understand life. Let me show you that this world is the big fish eating the small fish." He said and shouted, "Die." Then he swung his sword and chopped at him. He calmly thought that this strength came from the spirit, but he had never used it properly. That's because until now he realized that he had to use techniques to enhance this strength, the techniques that he knew. He thought of his big brother who had used the heavenly spear technique, the twin dragons flying out in front of him. Thinking of that, he immediately performed that technique. The result was unexpected, one of them was hit, and died on the spot. But he was also exhausted, and couldn't stand very well. The three remaining ones saw that and were shocked. At first they thought they might have been tricked. Nam Kung Mei was the strongest one left behind to protect the caravan. But later they saw that he was weak, so they didn't hesitate and the three remaining ones rushed up together, wanting to win quickly. Nam Kung Mei kept dodging and rolling on the ground. But how could someone like him fight against three assassins like that? The three of them attacked from three different directions, leaving him no room to counterattack. After a while, his body was full of bleeding wounds. Knowing that he couldn't hold on for long, he needed to find a technique to break the situation. But he didn't learn the heavenly spear technique properly. Until now, he only knew one technique. He practiced it over and over again, hundreds and thousands of times. Unable to resist any longer, he gathered all his strength and swung his sword up, shouting, once again the heavenly spear technique, the first move, the dragon roar. After that shout, another assassin fell in front of him, his clothes torn. He also only had time to mutter, one more, one more." Then he also fell down and fainted. The two remaining ones were scared and shouted, "What's going on? How can this kid change his technique? It's the same move, but he changed it into a different form in such a short time." He approached and muttered, "If I spare you this time, you will become a threat in the future. I have to send you to meet the King of Hell." As he said, he raised his sword and stabbed it down on his head. Just then, an old man with a cane came. It was the old man from the beggar sect who was not escorted. The two assassins saw that and stopped, thinking that the beggars had returned. He looked closely and saw that it was an old man with a cane, so he shouted, "Who are you?" The old man replied, "Although I don't know the specific situation, I know for sure that those who hide their faces like you are scum. For grown-ups who bully a child." The two of them saw that and rushed to deal with the old man. Seeing them rushing over, the old man shouted, "This old body will make your dogs suffer." It turned out that he was the elder of the beggar sect, Hong Seo Young. On the other side, seeing that the three of them couldn't finish the bandits, the assistant teacher Jiang decided to take action himself and then caught one of them to lead the way to the hostages. On this side, the two assassins got close, and saw the knots on Hong Seo Young's belt, and knew that he was a master of the beggar sect. Knowing that they couldn't beat him, they turned around and threw smoke bombs and ran away. Hong Seo Young looked at Nam Kong Mei lying on the ground and said, "A spirit that doesn't give up even though he has exceeded his own limits. The ability to judge and choose the best way in the most difficult situation. It's commendable." The sword technique that he used just now was the heavenly spear technique. He must be the child of the Nam Kong family. When the assistant teacher Jiang brought the villagers back to the village, it was already dark. As they entered, they saw Nam Kong Mei lying on the bed, his body wrapped in bandages. Seeing the elder of the beggar sect next to him, he thought that the wounds on Nam Kong Mei's body were caused by him, so he went to ask, but was scolded by him and said, "Assistant teacher Jiang, bring some wine, drink it and I'll tell you." He drank the wine and told the situation in one go. At first, everyone didn't believe it. The assistant teacher Jiang even asked again. Did he fight in an abnormal state, the state of mind demon that he used to have? Hearing that, Hong Seo Young said, "No, there was no sign of that. On the contrary, the kid was very good, he killed 2 of the 4 assassins." Hearing that, everyone was shocked. The assistant teacher Jiang asked again, "So he fought with the assassins?" Hong Seo Young answered, "That's right, and the 4 assassins were all first-class martial artists. Divided into levels. Only knowing how to use a sword is a third-class martial artist, learning techniques and martial arts to fight is a second class. Reaching the realm where they can use their internal strength with weapons and body is a first-class martial artist. He who has formed his inner power and has a weapon that can contain sword energy is a supreme master who can cut even stone. He who has accumulated inner power for over 60 years in his elixir field can win against 10 supreme martial artists is a super supreme master. The higher realms are the flower realm and the mysterious realm. But your reactions are strange. Even though I praised him a little, why do you ask me so carefully and meticulously?" The assistant teacher Jiang replied, "Is it that the boy is not as powerful as you said, or is there some mistake?" Hong Seo Young heard that and angrily shouted, "Do you mean I lied? Do you know which organization I belong to? I am the elder of the gang that is known as the Information Gathering Organization of the Righteous Faction. If I talk nonsense, who would trust the information that the gang provides?" The boy clearly used the heavenly sword technique of the Nam Kong family in the fight with the assassin. The image I saw was the image of a chivalrous man who was ready to sacrifice himself to protect the weak. He is surely the 3rd son of Nam Kong He. Hearing that, everyone exclaimed, "You are wrong, he is Nam Kong Mei." Hearing that, he was startled and widened his eyes. Nam Kong Mei? Knowing that he had guessed wrong, he quickly changed the topic. "Why did the assassins attack here? What do you think?" Just then, Wang Sun, the owner of the trading company, came and explained the reason why the assassins did that. It could be like this. At another place in the city of Anhai, in front of the Nam Kong family's gate, the masked master was standing in front of the door talking to the servant. But because he looked like a beggar, the servant did not believe him, and even drove him away. He told him to come back tomorrow night. He pretended to leave and then climbed over the wall and sneaked in. On this side, everyone had guessed that the killers might have come for a pill that the trading company was transporting. On the side of the masked master, after sneaking in, he met the owner of the Nam Kung family, who was the father of Nam Kung Mei. Although he wore a mask, the owner of the Nam Kung family did not believe that he was the masked master, so the two went out to fight. After many rounds, the masked master finally took off his mask and said, "I came here not as the masked master, but as the master of the White Martial Hall to visit the home of my disciple." At that time, the two sat down and drank wine and talked. The owner of the Nam Kung family said, "Did you come here because of my son? What do you want to know?" The masked master said, "You must have suffered a lot because of Nam Kung Mei's elixir field." The owner of the Nam Kung family replied, "I don't regret spending so much inner power to separate Mei's elixir field. I have mobilized all the people of the family to find out, but I still can't know what kind of poison it is. That's why I entrusted my hope to the martial world." The masked master replied, "It turns out that I guessed right. There is a way to suppress that original energy inside Nam Kung Mei. It is the original cycle skill. This is a unique martial skill that I created. I still don't know if the boy has the qualifications to learn it or not. Originally, I had no intention of passing on my martial skills to the later generations. I will decide whether to pass on the martial skills after observing Nam Kung Mei for a while longer." The owner of the Nam Kung family heard that and clasped his hands and said, "Please understand the feelings of a father like me. I thank you very much. Do you know why I doubted you when you appeared? Because there is a rumor that the masked master is punishing the world. In fact, many forces of the evil faction are wary of you. Isn't that strange? The masked master has always been in the martial world, but there is a rumor that the masked master appears outside. Maybe the peaceful era is about to end." Hearing that, the masked master was surprised and said nothing, then left. On this side, Nam Kung Mei woke up and saw that he was lying on the bed. He was startled and remembered Jin Hyuk, and hurriedly ran outside and shouted. Seeing him run out, everyone ran over to ask and check. Seeing that he was fine, the assistant teacher told everyone to go back and rest, and we will leave tomorrow. While Nam Kung Mei was sitting and muttering the method of reversing his inner power, Mao Ringbo suddenly took his wooden sword and came over and asked, "How can you fight them with this weak sword? A wooden sword can't withstand inner power." Hearing that, he was stunned and thought. Mao Ringbo, who is known as the genius of the Maryang family, is asking me for advice. He didn't think much and told Mao Ringbo how he used his inner power. But because he was not used to it, Mao Ringbo broke the sword. Seeing that, he was embarrassed and gave one of his swords to Nam Kung Mei. The next day, everyone started on their way. Nam Kung Mei met Hong Seo Young again. He thanked him and promised that he would definitely come to see him privately to thank him for saving the villagers' lives. He also thanked everyone and said goodbye, and everyone started to leave. But for some reason, Hong Seo Young followed behind. Just then, he saw Yagami holding a flute and practicing his sound power, so he went up and talked to him. After a while, he said, "Have you ever thought about why your master gave you a bamboo flute? Try to think further than the little girl from Ri's family, then go ahead." At this time, Jiang was walking ahead and suddenly stopped and muttered, "There are people coming out lately." He went up and heard that and thought, "Oh, this kid has a good hearing, let's see who they are and what they are doing." Then he concentrated his inner power into his eyes and looked far away, and saw a few people killing each other. He opened his eyes and said, "They are the people of the Green Forest, and they seem to be disciples of the Nemi section." Hearing the name of the Nemi sect, Wan Pu was startled and remembered that he had met the head of the Nemi sect, Hekyo, before. He turned and wrote a note for Nam Kung Mei to see. The Nemi sect is also called the mysterious flower of the Central Plains. At this time, Ryung felt more headache. She suddenly shouted, "Above!" Everyone looked up and saw two people fighting a person in white clothes, wearing a hat and a scarf covering his face. The two guys looked at the person in white and said, "You lost your teammates, you must be scared. If you serve us, maybe we will save you." The person in white replied, "Not only are you ugly, but your mouth is also bad." Hearing that, the two guys rushed up and slashed at the person in white. After a series of moves, the hat of the person in white was cut and fell down. Seeing that, he said, "Dare to mock the woman Juha-jin, I will not spare you." He was Juha-jin of the Nemi sect and was a member of the Mao class. Everyone saw him and they were all stunned and amazed, because everyone thought that behind the veil was a beautiful woman, but it turned out to be a man. The guy saw that and said, "Using a veil, I thought it was a beautiful girl. A man pretending to be a woman, I almost vomited." Juha-jin heard that and was angry and said, "A man pretending to be a woman, I will chop you up." He was about to rush up, but Nam Kung Mei came and blocked him. He looked at the two men and said, "Don't say things that you shouldn't say to women." The two leaders turned to look at Nam Kung Mei and then at the goods passing by. They laughed and said, "We are annoyed by this man who pretends to be a woman, but we didn't expect such a big fish. If you don't want to die, leave your belongings and get out of here." Hearing that, Nam Kung Mei thought, how did it turn out like this? He was about to raise his sword, but Juha-jin came in front of him and said, "It's very dangerous, please step back." He remembered his childhood, when he was a beautiful girl and his mother told him many things to make him stronger. He didn't have time to think, as the bandits attacked. The assistant teacher shouted, "Prepare to attack." Everyone split up and fought. Mao Ringbo remembered Nam Kung Mei's advice. He applied it and found his own method. Ji Gami did the same. She remembered Hong Seo Young's words. She finally discovered that this flute was made from black bamboo, which only grows in the deepest part of Nemi Mountain. Because it has the strength and elasticity of steel, this black bamboo is very rare. Knowing this, she used it as a weapon instead of practicing sound skills. An Jiang also used her darts. Seeing that, the remaining bandits attacked Wan Pu. He was stunned by the person who was not like the Nemi sect in his imagination. He thought and muttered, "My Nemi sect, damn it, did I see it wrong? This situation is impossible." He was dragged into the battle. Juha-jin then turned to ask Nam Kung Mei, "What is your name, sir?" He hesitated and said, "I am Nam Kung Mei, Miss Juha-jin. It seems that you are not injured." "My disciples are still fighting, I have to go and help them." He ran away. The assistant teacher looked at everyone and thought, they have mastered the new weapons, they are more efficient than the previous fight. Have they figured it out? Finally, the battle ended, and all the bandits were tied up. The assistant teacher then looked at the white-clothed person and asked, "Are you from the Mao class?" She answered, "I am Juha-jin from the Mao class of the White Martial Arts Hall." She then explained the situation. She was escorting the elders of the Fire Sun sect when they were ambushed by the Green Forest gang. She was separated from the Mao class while fighting. When he was about to look for the Mao class, a girl appeared and said that she was a student of the Mao class. She said, "Ha-jin, do you know how long I've been looking for you? You have to be punished." She was about to act, but the assistant teacher stopped her and said, "If you want to punish your student, do it at the White Martial Arts Hall." She hugged the assistant teacher and said, "Short Sword Demon, are you going to punish me?" Hong Seo Young thought, this is the daughter of the Nan family, her name is Unjan Ji. Why don't they call her the Cunning Girl? At this time, a killer hidden in a tree observed for a while and then left. He ran back to report the situation, and the leader who was sitting there also received a letter from a pigeon. He laughed after reading it. "We have permission now, the plan will be implemented sooner. It will be carried out tonight, this time we have to kill them all. Take both the Thatch Kim Thuong pills and kill that kid." The kid he was talking about was Nam Kung Mei. On the other side, assistant teacher Zhang was still standing still, not knowing what to do. At this time, the voices from afar came, "Master, Jin's sister." Hearing that, Juha Jin said, "Maybe the junior sisters of the Mao class are looking for me and my master." Wonpu was still in shock. Hearing that, he thought, the disciples of the Nemi sect must be right. Maybe only this girl is strange. The other disciples will be different. He eagerly turned back to look, but was stunned. All the girls of the Mao class had faces like men. He fainted on the spot. At this time, Hong Seo-young spoke up to explain to everyone, the Mao class is the most secluded place of the Nemi sect among the 12 classes of the Bakvo Hall. Among them, the most outstanding person is Juha Jin, who is rumored to have a great reputation in the Tuthien city of the Nemi section. She is loved by everyone and called the Nemi flower. That's why they called that girl the gentle heroine. Hearing this, Wonpu couldn't stand it and shouted, "Don't say those nonsense words. Look at that face and say she is a gentle heroine. She is a man, that's right. The Nemi sect that I know is not like that." Hearing that, Hong Seo-young hit him with a stick and yelled, "How can a Shaolin monk be so rude? They say monks are silent, right? Now I understand why the Shaolin school gave the job to this guy." Wonpu heard that and muttered, "No, it's not like that." On the other side, the junior sisters were congratulating Juha Jin for finding her true love. She shyly replied, "Don't be so rude, we just met." Someone asked, "Ha Jin's sister, do you really think you and Mei are destined for each other?" Hearing that, she replied, "Destiny, even if destiny stops me, I will break it and take him." On this side, Hong Seo-young saw that the martial arts of the Gan family did not suit Juha Jin's physique. Because the martial arts of the Gan family are based on external strength, only strong people can do it. So for someone who tries to rise up like Juha Jin, after finishing her research, she created a martial art using cloth instead of physique to make weapons. So the family criticized her martial arts for not belonging to the Gan family. Juha Jin left the family and gave up the marital way. Then she developed her martial arts and achieved the current prestige and reputation. But the problem is that her Fai Hongnan Song can be performed with only thin threads. Fai Hongnan Song can also be a puppet technique because it can control the opponent by transmitting internal strength into the thread. Moreover, she is very good at hiding her inner feelings. No one can understand. Since then, they called her the Fierce Girl. While talking, the assassins surrounded them. They started attacking. Hong Seo-young shouted, "Last time, you ran away like rats, today you dare to attack directly." The two sides fought for a while. Seeing that their side was weak, the leader of the assassins shouted, "I allow the whole team to use the pills." Hearing that, all the assassins took out a pill from their bodies and put it in their mouths. Hong Seo-young yelled, "What kind of pills are you using? Could it be the Dan Hon?" There were 50 assassins, but now there are only about 10 left. But after taking the pills, their strength exploded. Wonpu was fighting without paying attention and was seriously injured. Seeing that, Yagami shouted, "Uljin, come and see Wonpu." Why do I have a bad feeling? I seem to have seen something like that before. At this time, at the Noxon house, someone was reporting, "Our leader has a lot of doubts about this mission." The other leader replied, "Just do your job, why are you worried?" His subordinate answered, "We have served the Yongchen Trade Association for 2 years, so there is not much problem, but the thing they are selling seems very dangerous." The other one replied, "True, but the more dangerous it is, the more attractive it is. And after you eat it, your strength will reach a new level. It helps strengthen you in exchange for your life force. It is specially made for adventurers like us." Hearing that, his subordinate answered, "Using it is indeed better than drinking poison to kill yourself." The leader laughed loudly. The day that this divine medicine spreads throughout the martial world is also the day that peace ends. On this side, the leader of the assassins smiled and said to Hong Seo-young, "I wonder if you can fight against my people." The leader of the adventurers took advantage of the threat to own X-Hun, the owner of the trade group, to make Nam Kung Mei rush to save him and then attacked him. Nam Kung Mei fell into the trap and was stabbed in the shoulder. He quickly jumped back but was still slashed twice by him. Just as he was about to slash the final blow to finish him off, Ju Ha-jin rushed to block him with a sword and said, "It seems I have fallen in love with a gentleman, then fallen down." The assassin saw that and was shocked. "I can't believe she took the blow to save your life. Isn't this what you call a dirty death?" Hearing that, Nam Kung Mei lost his mind and roared angrily. Even the assistant teacher saw it and shouted louder than the last time. Nam Kung Mei lost his mind, his strength erupted and quickly dealt with the two assassins, making the rest focus and deal with him. Hong Seo-young saw that and wondered why he turned to ask the assistant teacher, "What's wrong with that kid? Did he also take divine medicine?" The assistant teacher heard that and answered, "No, the first time he came to our martial arts school, he was also in that state." Hong Seo-young muttered. From the first time he thought that the life force of those assassins was slowly radiating, bringing a kind of powerful and boiling energy. But the energy radiating from that kid was not life force. It was more like life energy. Mao Ringbo thought it was like the last time he took the entrance exam. But his strength was different from then. Chi Gami thought that was not the Nam Kung Mei he knew, nor was it a secret that Nam Kung Jan had kept since he was a child. Everyone was pondering when Hong Seo-young shouted, "Why are you standing there? If you leave him like that, he will die. Go save him." But when Mao Ringbo and Chi Gami rushed over, it was also the time when all the assassins were defeated. Nam Kung Mei still couldn't tell and hit both of them out. At this time, the assistant teacher came up and said, "You guys back off and let me." On the other side, the leader of the assassins lay on the ground and coughed up blood. "I can't lose to these righteous bastards." Then he took a pill. Somewhere else, the masked master was standing with his hands clasped. "They should be here by now. What's going on? Wait a little longer and see." On this side, the assistant teacher was fighting with Nam Kung Mei when the leader of the assassins rushed to kill Nam Kung Mei. Luckily, the assistant teacher stopped him. While fighting, he found out that this leader was much stronger than the others. He was careless and got hit by them. Luckily Hong Seo-young rushed up to block and shouted, "We didn't know what they had eaten, but their strength had increased tremendously." He ordered Mao Ringbo and Ji Gami to deal with the leader, while he faced the leader alone. At that moment, the assassins somehow woke up. They stood up, but their bodies were dry and shriveled, and their strength had increased a lot. Assistant teacher John lay on the ground and couldn't move. He remembered the words of his master, the devil-faced one, before he left and wondered. He didn't know what to do. Just then, a voice rang out. "I was wondering why you didn't come, it's such a mess." Hearing this, everyone turned around and saw the devil-faced master. He walked over and looked around, then asked, "What did you eat?" Just then, an assassin rushed to attack him. He didn't hesitate and flicked a finger, and the assassin flew back and spat out a few teeth. He muttered, "So you are a bunch of beasts without reason, then I wonder if you are afraid of death." He finished and rushed into the crowd of assassins, killing them like flies. Even Hong Seo-young, who was watching from outside, exclaimed, "Those tough guys were killed like weeds. His energy is too terrifying." Everyone was amazed, even the students who doubted him before were convinced. At that time, only the leader of the assassins was left. The devil-faced master began to question him. "What did you eat and where did you get it?" He sat on the ground in fear and stammered, "Demon, demon." Just then, Nam Kung Mei rushed over from behind, but was grabbed by the devil-faced master and said, "Here is my naughty disciple, do you want me to teach you a lesson?" he said and knocked him out. Then he turned to ask the assassin again. Have you spoken yet? He was still in a state of fear and stammered. Go away, you monster. Then the devil-faced master lifted him up by the neck and said, I'll ask you one last time, what I want to know is what you ate and where you got it. Then he finally blurted out. It was blood fury pills. Before he could finish, he was crushed by the devil-faced master. Choices always come with responsibilities. I'm also responsible for the path I chose. In his dream, Nam Kung Mei met the red flame again. He turned into the shape when Nam Kung Mei lost his reason. He said that you couldn't even protect the person in front of you. Who are you protecting? You can't control your anger. You chose to become a monster. You can't protect yourself. You can't satisfy the expectations of others. A useless person like you can't do anything. Hearing that, Nam Kung Mei hugged his head and sat down, remembering the images of everyone around him. Just then, the image of the devil-faced master appeared and said to him, How far do you want to go? Stop and wake up now. He said and tapped his forehead. He woke up with a start, sweating and mumbling. A dream, was it all just a dream? At that time, Juha Jin was washing towels nearby and saw him wake up and exclaimed, Young Master Nam Kung Mei, are you awake? He was about to ask about the wound on her back, but before he could say anything, she ran away and said, I'll bring the doctor right away. Then she disappeared. He got out of bed and walked to the window, opened it and looked out to see where he was. He had just opened it and hadn't said anything when a voice outside the window said, What are you marveling at? He jumped and screamed. What are you doing out here, master? He sighed and said, I told you to practice the reverse flow, but you are still in that state. It's also my fault, I didn't pay attention to that. So I decided to teach you the martial arts that I created myself. Hearing that, he exclaimed, The martial arts of the master himself? At this time, he said, Your father has agreed, now it's your turn to decide. Do you want to become my official disciple? Hearing that, he clenched his fist and answered firmly, Yes, master. He heard that and replied, Then forget about the formalities, after all, I'm also the master of the Thai group. Keep this a secret from everyone. Hearing him agree, he continued, Hung, I also heard that something happened when I was away. You almost died protecting a child, right? He touched his head and said, It's a strange outcome, but it's good. Just then, the rest of the Thai class pushed the door and ran in shouting, Nam Kung Mei. Seeing him standing by the window, they said, Why are you walking around when you haven't recovered yet? He was about to say that there was a master there, but he didn't see the master anymore, so he gave up. The doctor also came in and took his pulse. He exclaimed in disbelief, It's amazing, the young master here has recovered very fast. Juha Jin stood next to him and asked if he was sure that he was fine now. The doctor answered, Yes, miss. He is very well now, he just needs to restore his energy. Hearing that, she frowned and leaned her face close to him and said, Can you swear on that? The doctor was scared and answered, Yes, I swear. Yagami stood next to him and said, Nam Kung Mei, I know it's not polite to ask you now, but do you have any secrets? Hearing that, he hesitated and was about to say that he had a master, but he saw the master hanging from the ceiling and gesturing to him to be quiet. He then said there was nothing. Can I say something like that? At this time, on the roof, the master with a devil face was standing with Hong Seo Young. He asked, Where have you been for so many years? I haven't seen your face. The master with a devil face answered, Long time no see, Hong Seo Young. The leader heard that and laughed. Leader what? I was only a temporary leader for 3 months when there was a war. And it's been a long time since then. The master with a devil face answered, Temporary leader or not, you are still a leader. Hearing that, he said, how to say, I have given up the leader position to someone more capable. And besides, it turns out that the legendary master with a devil face looks like this when he takes off his mask. I have to tell the gang about this news. The master with a devil face smiled and answered. I'm also ashamed, but anyway, I'm not a person of Black Flower person anymore. I heard that Black Flower has disbanded, so I was entrusted with the task of handling the information. He said. Hearing that, the master with a devil face asked about the information of the blood explosion pill. He handed him a box and said, are you asking about this? Didn't you go looking for it and just came back? The master with a devil face took the box and answered. That's right, I just came back from there. He remembered that there was a bloody battle there. When he arrived, everyone was dead, the scene was full of corpses and blood-written words. The master with a devil face had been here, he continued to say. There is a problem here, there are 2 traces, one was deliberately left behind and one was dealt with. Hong Seo-young heard that and answered. That means there are many people involved in this, then it's only the Young Trian Trade Association. Let's go and find out. He waved his goodbye to the master with a devil face and left. The investigation results were announced later. Then a group of masked people targeted the Thai class. They were assassins hired by the leader of the Young Trian Association to eliminate the Suk trade group. And the purpose was also to spread the blood explosion pill. To cope with them, the Martial Arts Alliance immediately formed an investigation team and went to the headquarters of the Young Trian Trading Group. But all those involved were dead, and there was no trace left. The Red Army, under the management of the Martial Arts Alliance, continued to take over the investigation. At the martial arts headquarters, the masters were competing to tell about the achievements of their class, and no one gave way. At this time, the leader of the alliance Wang Jun entered, his name was Daga Sunday. The younger brother of the head of the Daga clan, Nam Daga, also entered. They both said that this experience would be a valuable asset for the future of their section. Wang Jun heard that and said, thank you all, master of the rat class. Juhui stood up and asked why you asked all 12 masters to be present, but there are only 10 people here. Hearing that, he replied, do you know why not? Both of them are very valued by others, one of them is my 20-year-old friend with the nickname Devil Face. And the other one is Fong Kim Ju Bik Hoa. Everyone was shocked and wondered why a person in the top 3 superiors reached the realm of No Hook and became a teacher here. Wang Jun continued. I don't know either. 3 months ago, one day he came to me and asked to be a master. If not, he would lie down and eat here. He said he had found a successor, but that person refused him. And seeing that person come here, he wanted to be a master here. To choose a successor in the younger class, that's it. So the masters here all need to work hard and teach the kids well so they don't get looked down on by the disciples of Fong Kim and Devil Face. At this time, at the dormitory of the Thai class, the open area of Fong Kim Ju Bik Hoa was sitting on a rock watching the students of the Thai class who had just finished practicing. At this time, he suddenly looked at Nam Kung Mei and said, you still need a solid foundation. Everyone at this time looked up at the rock and saw him but didn't know who he was. He asked Mei again. What's your name? What class are you in? Not seeing him answer, he pointed to Mao Ring Bo and asked. What's your name? What class are you in? He heard that and answered, I am Mao Ring Bo of the Mao Ring clan. Hearing that, he approached and hugged him to check and said. People of the prestigious clan are different, the physique is very good. Judging by this, you are stronger than my disciple, but let me check more. As soon as he finished speaking, his eyes showed murderous intent, and he saw blood dripping from the corner of Mao Ring Bo's mouth. Nam Kong Mei shouted. Stop it. Hearing that, he turned to look at Mei and said. Can you be quiet? But as soon as he finished speaking, he exclaimed. Ah, look, there is a strange stream of energy in his body. Then he flew to Mei. This class has a lot of interesting people, what class are you in? He was about to reach out and grab Mei's body, but another hand appeared from nowhere and grabbed his hand and said, "It's the Thai class, they are my disciples." Ju Bik Hoa heard that and exclaimed, "Ah, so you are the master of Devil Face." The two talked and explored each other, and a handshake made the ground around them collapse. The students saw that and wondered who he was. His spiritual power was terrible. One Pu said, "I've seen him before. He came to the temple to find wine and then caused a commotion. That time, the abbot called him Fong Bao Kim." Everyone exclaimed, "Fong Bao Kim, is it Fong Bao Kim?" On this side, the master of Devil Face was fighting with Fong Bao Kim and said, "Fong Bao Kim, do you want to continue?" Fong Bao Kim replied, "I'm just a little surprised, Devil Face, I didn't expect you to have so much spiritual power," he said, and the two let go of each other. The devil-faced man continued, "When I heard that someone wanted to be a master here, I was very surprised." Fong Baojian replied, "Me too, one of the best assassins in the world became a master." Ju Ha-jin suddenly rushed in from outside and hugged Nam Kung Mei, asking with a worried voice, "This jade-like body is missing its owner, are you okay? Are you hurt?" Fong Baojian turned to look at Ju Ha-jin and evaluated in his head. A wild energy overflowing with a body as hard as gold. That was the body of martial arts bestowed by heaven. Then he quickly reached out and asked, "What is your name? Which class do you belong to?" The devil-faced master stepped forward and said, "That lady's name is Ju Ha-jin, she belongs to the Nami section." He muttered, "Isn't the Nami sect only accepting female disciples?" Then he looked at Ju Ha-jin again and exclaimed, "No way, sorry. Oh, how embarrassing, I guess I have to give up on you. Because you are a disciple of one of the great sections." Then he said goodbye to the devil-faced master and left. Before leaving, he said, "It was interesting, especially your disciples. The Thai class, right? Very promising, and from now on I think my candidate is more powerful than your disciples." After saying that, he left. Yagami stepped forward and asked the master, "Is he really Fong Baojian?" If he was really Fong Baojian, then it was too much. Before he finished his sentence, the devil-faced man answered, "Yes, he is. The Supreme Long Thuot can bring him to the level of the Super Trio even though he is still very young. That's why he has to choose his successor very carefully. And there is no better place than here. Alright, Thai class, listen carefully. There is a very important announcement in the meeting of the masters. All disciples of Bokvo Duong must participate in the Bokvo Thuot exam." In another place, Fong Baojian walked and muttered, "He is the devil-faced man, huh? Choosing to come here was really the right decision." Looking down, he saw that his pants were torn and a large patch behind, revealing a pair of big feet from who knows when. The Bokvo Thuot exam is a martial arts exam to find talented people who can lead the orthodox sect in the future. Of the 12 classes, only 6 classes are allowed to participate in the final round. The qualifying round will be held next year. In the qualifying round, you will have to fight and win as a team to advance to the final round. In the final round, you will fight individually, so in the qualifying round you will be teammates. But in the final round, you will become enemies. Yagami said, "So if the whole team loses, then no matter how talented you are, you can't advance to the final round. So from now on, we have to focus on training in formation, right?" The devil-faced master replied, "No, fighting in formation is very formidable. But it also has a weakness. What if one of you gets injured? What if the enemy exploits our weakness? What if our formation is broken and the enemy ambushes us? I used to be an assassin, what do you think I will teach you?" The members of the Black Flower Alliance all have their own training methods. From now on, I will pass them on to you. Everyone started to practice according to the master's instructions. The first exercise was like a puppy learning to walk. The master turned his back to everyone, and everyone moved. But when he turned back, anyone who was still moving would be eliminated. At first, everyone was puzzled, but the master explained that this training method was similar to how turtles breathe. You will learn how to hide your existence. This is an important training method that the people of the Black Flower Alliance can learn very quickly. If you can hide yourself in a chaotic battle, do you know how beneficial this is? A small difference can decide life and death. Nam Kongmei said. This is harder than I thought. If I try to stop moving, my body will tremble uncontrollably. If I use spiritual power to stand still, the amount of spiritual power consumed will be too large and the concentration will. He was interrupted by Yagami's loud shout. No, this is clearly a childish game. But at night, the master met Nam Kongmei alone outside the training ground. When he got there, he said, Master, I'm looking forward to today's lesson. He replied, What I have taught you so far is how to concentrate all the scattered power in your body to the dantian. He sat down and started to practice according to the master's instructions. At this point, he realized that it was true. When he gathered all the power in his body, his dantian also became larger. It was not like the meager amount of power he had before. The master continued. So from now on, I will teach you the reverse origin technique, which is also my original martial art. No one has been able to inherit this original martial art yet. The first stage of the reverse origin technique is reverse flow. The beginning of the reverse origin technique is already against nature. This stage of reverse flow may scare you. But this time, your life may be in danger. Hearing this, Nam Kongmei said, Master, I'm ready. The master smiled. That's right, you are the son of a prestigious family. You are crazy to go against the flow. It's time to do something crazier. The next stage is to have positive flow and reverse flow at the same time. As he said, he ran 2 streams of energy into his 2 hands. On the other hand, a massacre occurred, and the Red Army was chasing the culprit, and assistant teacher Jiang was also there. On the way, he suddenly felt a stream of energy that was exactly like the devil-faced master. He rushed over and met a person who looked like him, even the clothes, mask, and weapons were the same. After a fight, assistant teacher Jiang finally lost and lay on the ground. He asked him, Why do you impersonate the devil-faced master? After a moment of silence, he said, So you are also deceived, the devil-faced master there is fake. Assistant teacher Jiang stammered. How can it be faked? The other person just said don't get in my way, Red Army at the White Martial Hall. At this time, Nam Kongmei and Wen Pu were walking in the yard when they met Ji Piong, Nam Kongmei's younger brother. Nam Kongmei asked him what was going on today, as it looked quite lively. Suddenly, someone shouted. Which groups will make it to the final round of the White Martial Arts competition? The betting for the martial arts contest organized by the Rooster class is officially open. If the classes that you bet on make it to the final match, we will double your money. Just then, Tang Weiju and Han Muji from the Pig class arrived. Tang Weiju looked at Nam Kongmei and said, I bet 100 silver coins that the Rat class will be eliminated. Because you are a piece of trash in that group. I don't think anyone can help you now. Wen Pu spoke up. Aren't you the one who had his finger broken by Mao Ring Bo? Han Muji next to him yelled. You bastard pig, how dare you stick your nose in? You come from Shaolin Temple, so you act arrogant and agree that Shaolin Temple sounds good. But do you think you are good too? Wen Pu also retorted. Do you think you are great because you come from the Tang family of Xian, you ass kisser? Hearing that, Han Muji couldn't take it anymore. The two started to fight. Everyone turned to look. Just then, a dagger flew in and stuck between the two. A voice rang out. "Stop right here, no unauthorized fights are allowed." Everyone was stunned and didn't know who it was. Ji Pyong said that it was someone from the rat class. Nam Kung Mei wondered and asked who they were. They were one of the groups in the martial hall. But they were on guard duty. Ji Pyong answered that it was just their hobby. Another person spoke up. "If you want to fight, then fight fair and square, fight in the white martial arts competition. But if you continue to fight, you will have to step over our bodies first." Hearing that, Hun Muji said to Tang Weiju. "Weiju, the rat class is here, what should we do?" Tang Weiju showed contempt and said, "Even better, they just run around the groups acting like heroes. I want to teach them a lesson." Then he shouted, "Come and fight me, you trash." At this time, 5 people jumped out and shouted, "Protect justice, the 5 great heroes. From now on, we will stop you from disrupting the order of the White Martial Hall." Tang Weiju and Hun Muji from the pig class heard that and rushed to both sides to fight. Outside, One Pu said, "Is it because they are brothers that their teamwork spirit is so amazing?" Ji Pyong replied, "The members of the rat class don't really have individual skills, but when they fight together, they are said to be as strong as a peak martial arts master." Just then, Hun Muji couldn't resist anymore and fell down. The rat class looked at Tang Weiju and said, "You only know how to hide behind your allies and sneakily throw weapons. It turns out that the Tang family of Xian is only this level. Nothing can stand up to justice." Tang Weiju was angry and moved his hand while thinking, "These trash dare to be arrogant like this. I will show them how scary the Tang family is." Nam Kung Mei saw that and shouted, "Be careful, everyone back off, that's poison technique." Hearing that, everyone who was watching ran away in panic. The captain of the rat class yelled, "Stop it, don't let it harm the people around you. Brothers, use your spiritual power to surround the poison." Nam Kung Mei outside saw that and thought, "That's not good, surrounding the poison will only drain their spiritual power. If they don't stop it quickly." At this moment, 5 people from Class T were surrounded and one of them was injured and flew out. Fortunately, Nam Kung Mei quickly jumped up and caught him. But he discovered that this person seemed to be a girl. On this side, the members of Class T lost 1 person, and the balance was broken. Seeing that everyone was in danger, Nam Kung Mei handed the person over to One Pu to take care of and then joined the fight. When the situation was tense, the master of Class T, Sugo, appeared and shouted, "You only got bitten by a dog, but you used all your strength." Then he drove everyone away. He said to all the students, "Follow me to the fire hall." When they arrived, Nam Kung Mei explained the situation. He said, "Class T did nothing wrong, this is the fault of me and Tang Weiju. I will accept any punishment. But to end the old grudge between Tang Weiju and me, I request an official duel." The master of Class T, Sugo, heard this and said, "You just confessed everything without blaming anyone. I'm quite impressed. You request an official duel, huh? Interesting. Tang Weiju, do you accept this challenge?" Hearing this, Tang Weiju hesitated and said, "Please allow me to use poison techniques in the duel." Hearing this, the master turned to ask Nam Kung Mei, "Do you agree?" Nam Kung Mei did not hesitate and said, "I don't object, because if he can't use poison techniques, he won't accept the result." Hearing this, the master said, "Okay, I agree with the duel between Nam Kung Mei and Tang Weiju. Let's go to the practice field." Everyone went to the practice field. Standing on the stage, Tang Weiju said, "Do you really think you can beat me in a martial arts match?" Nam Kung Mei replied, "If it was before, I would never think so, but now everything is different. Now we will start the duel between Tang Weiju and Nam Kung Mei. I am Sugo and I will be the witness for this match. Wind, inner, extreme, poison, water, Tang Weiju shouted and then rushed up. Nam Kong Mei recognized this move. He had used it last time but was defeated by Mi Young Bo. He tried to apply the same technique, but unexpectedly Tang Weiju had prepared and hit him with a palm and poisoned him. Everyone outside saw this and worried, but the people of Class T reassured. Don't worry, justice won't lose so easily. In the match, Tang Weiju was laughing and said, the more you use spiritual power, the more the poison will destroy your spiritual circulation. You will have to endure pain more terrifying than death. Let's end it here, you trash. He said and rushed to attack, but strangely Nam Kong Mei was still able to use spiritual power. Even Mei felt strange. He thought, could it be that when the poison entered my body, the energy in my dantian burned it and used poison to cure it? Everyone outside also didn't understand what was going on. Wan Pu said, clearly he was poisoned by Tang Weiju, but there was no sign of poisoning at all. Hearing this, Ji Piang said, if there is no sign at all, could it be that Big Brother is immune to all poisons? Wan Pu said, it doesn't look like immunity to all poisons, but I hope so. The Master of Class T also said. Amazingly, I even prepared an antidote for him. Could it be because of the devil face? At this time, Nam Kong Mei counterattacked and punched Tang Weiju in the face, making him bleed from his mouth and retreat. Taking advantage of the situation, Nam Kong Mei attacked continuously. He was shocked and thought, how could this be possible? The poison had no effect. He was attacked and wounded all over, he thought. Damn it, I will use one of the 8 extreme poisons of the Tang family, the heat death poison, to kill you. The venomous spider is a kind of deadly poison extracted from a 2-headed scorpion. Just a slight touch and the toxin will spread throughout the blood vessels in the body. If the antidote is not taken within 2 hours, the poisoned person will die. This is one of the 8 great deadly poisons that only the young master of the Tang clan can use. Nam Kong Mei felt uneasy. The atmosphere changed. His senior apprentice brother was shocked and said, bone poison, cover your nose and mouth and get away from the arena right away. The spectators hurriedly retreated. Nam Kong Mei was surrounded by a thick fog of poison. From within the fog, Tang Weiju threw a dart and then jumped out with a poison knife and slashed at Nam Kong Mei. Nam Kong Mei was hit by the knife and screamed. At this moment, his senior apprentice brother rushed in and shouted, what are you doing, Tang Weiju? Nam Kong Mei lay on the ground, clutching his wounded arm and moaning in pain and vomiting blood. He remembered the words of his master, the devil-faced man. The flow of positive and negative energy at the same time. Negative energy carries a great risk of damaging the meridians because they can twist together. But using positive and negative energy at the same time is even more dangerous. It can make your body explode like a bomb. But don't worry, in case your body explodes, I have prepared golden needles and herbs for you. I will teach you in my own way. Like a devil-faced man, hit and break it and then stand up. Thinking of this, he clenched his fist and thought he would hit it as his master said, like he burned the poison of Tang Weiju earlier. He would also burn this poison. He felt the fire and ice energy, they were destroying his meridians. He could do it, he would burn everything. He said and began to circulate his energy. On this side, Master Sugo was holding Tang Weiju by the collar and shouted. Give me the antidote quickly, the match will end here. You little bastard, how dare you use the 8 great deadly poisons? Do you too want to be expelled from the White Martial Hall? Just then, Nam Kong Mei's elder brother came and said loudly. I request the match to continue. The people were astonished and turned around. Ji Piang saw him and said, this is Nam Kong Il, the elder brother of Nam Kong Mei. He saw that and said. You also came here, don't tarnish the reputation of the Nam Kong clan and keep quiet. Anyway, no one cares about an outsider. He approached Master Sugo and said, I am Nam Kong Il of the Nam Kong clan. Master Sugo heard that and said, Nam Kong Il, you are the elder brother of Nam Kong Mei. His current condition is dangerous. How can you request to continue the fight? The two men burst out their spiritual energy. Master Sugo was shocked and thought, he is clearly a junior, but his spiritual power is equal to mine. How? A junior shouted. He is the champion of the last Dragon and Phoenix exam. His strength is not inferior to Master. Lock to it is really powerful. Master Sugo said, this is not the time for us to do this. Now we have to quickly give Namkong-mei the antidote and take him to the medical hall right away. Namkong-il said. The Namkong clan is the strongest clan among the 5 great clans, and also the heavenly clan that leads the way to heaven. If that child dies gloriously in a match, it is the pride of the whole clan. The people heard that and were horrified. Master Sugo thought. This kid is not normal at all. This is the common problem of the 5 great clans. Just then, Namkong-mei behind him burst out his spiritual power and stood up and said. The match is not over yet. Let's finish the rest, Tang Weiju. Master Sugo observed and saw that his spiritual power was stable. Could it be that he had overcome that deadly poison? He had to pay more attention to him and shouted. The match continues. Everyone had a different thought in their head. As they were about to fight, Namkong-mei saw his elder brother here. He said, no matter what words or actions are wrong and lack strength in the White Martial Hall, they will tarnish our clan. After 3 months, I will voluntarily return. At this moment, he understood the problem. He thought he had to show his elder brother that he was not as weak as before. He thought and fought. This time Namkong-mei completely dominated. As he fought, he thought he would prove his existence, not a waste of the Namkong clan, but himself. The people outside were constantly amazed. One Pu said, this spiritual power is like when Namkong-mei had a fit of rage last time, right? Ji Piang replied, this time is different from last time. In another place, the devil-faced master looked up at the sky and muttered. Oh, he learned it, huh? That's why I said you shouldn't trust the clan's evaluation. How can a child like that be called a waste? On this side, Tang Weiju was continuously punched in the face. He thought, I lost, huh? Is he really Namkong-mei? Who is he in the end? Before falling to the ground and fainting, he only managed to say, what the hell are you? And then he passed out. I am the disciple of the devil-faced master, Namkong-mei. Namkong-mei stood and watched. Tang Weiju was carried away on a stretcher. Master Sugo declared, based on the result of the duel, that the person responsible for the incident last time was Tang Weiju of the pig class. Namkong-mei took the antidote and returned to the snake class. Then, because he committed the serious crime of using one of the 8 great poisons, Tang Weiju was expelled from the White Martial Hall. That night, Tang Weiju quietly left the White Martial Hall. Namkong-mei held the antidote and thought. I don't need the antidote. The fever poison has completely disappeared from my body. Thanks to the elixir field absorbing all the poison, my spiritual energy has also increased. How did I suddenly become so strong? I'll keep the antidote for now. One Pu came over and said, what's that expression? Are you thinking of something dark? Namkong-mei quickly replied. No, I'm not. Let's go back. It's dinner time. At this time, the classmates of the snake class clasped their hands and said. Warrior Mei, thank you very much. Mei hurriedly said. It's nothing. I just told the truth. And about the duel, I did that for myself. Everyone heard that and replied. You are too modest. In that situation, even if you betrayed us, we would understand. We are really touched. We are glad to know that besides the 5 great heroes, there are still other righteous people. We will not forget this kindness. Then everyone left. Just then, I had just brewed a very good cup of tea. The devil-faced master said to Namkong-il. Namkong-il replied. It's an honor to meet you, Senior Devil-Faced. You don't have to talk to me like that. Hearing this, the devil-faced master asked. So do you know anything about me? Namkhon-il replied. My father had told me before. He had come to beg my father to let me take my brother back. He said that my brother's disciple was a person of the White Martial Hall, and if I wanted to take the kid back, I had to get the permission of that person. Then he continued. So the reason I came to see you today is to take my brother away from the White Martial Hall. The devil-faced master replied. You want to take Namkhon-mei away, huh? Okay, fine, but there's one condition. Just 1 month, be the assistant coach of the snake class. After that, you can take Namkhon-mei away or do whatever you want. The next morning, he led him to the snake class and told everyone. This is the young master Namkhon-il. From today on, he will temporarily hold the position of assistant coach. I am Namkhon-il, also known as the Rising Dragon Sword. I hope you will help me. Namkhon-mei saw that and thought. Why is Big Brother here as an assistant coach? Everyone left to practice. Mao Ringbo was practicing swordsmanship. He thought he had to give up the secret manual. He had to learn the soft technique when using this sword. Just then, Namkhon-il came from behind and greeted the two who were talking. Namkhon-il asked. Why do you want to give up the secret manual? If you only pursue the soft technique, you won't achieve anything. Hearing that, Mao Ringbo asked. What should I do then? Namkhon-il replied. Hard and soft are not separate. You have to let the sword flow with the hard and soften it. In the soft, you don't lose the hard. You transfer the hard energy into the sword and create spiritual power with the soft energy. As he spoke, he demonstrated for him to see. Jigami saw that and also came forward to greet him. Namkhon-il brother, long time no see. Jigami's sister is also in the snake class. Namkhon-il replied. On this side, the devil-faced master came to visit assistant teacher Zhang. He said that he had found a fool, I mean a very talented person to replace your position. You can rest. Hearing that, he was surprised for a moment and then turned to ask. Do you know how the members of the Nightflower Alliance are living now? The master heard that and replied. Who knows? Those people are all weird and eccentric. There is one who always moans about wanting to go home. There's also one whose thoughts I can't guess. After the Great War, only a few of them survived. But they were freed from the life closest to death. So they should be fine, right? Hearing that, assistant teacher Zhang hesitated and said. I'm sorry to say this, but I think the one who made me like this is one of the members of the Fake Flower Alliance. At the 10,000 Great Mountain. Report to the deputy leader. There is someone who looks very much like him. He attacked and all the members were killed. The other person replied. Are you sure? Yes, according to the witness, that person overcame the difficulty of wearing a devil mask. The other person shouted. Devil-faced, it's you again. The subordinate replied. Please don't be angry. I haven't made a deal with the peasants yet. I've been preparing for that for a while. The other person replied. Isn't making a pact with too many of them going to expose us? The subordinate replied. That's why we all have to start moving at the same time. If the whole Yongwonbi bombs, it will be easy to make mistakes in tracking us. The other person replied. Fine, let me see what you can do. On the side of the class, everyone was sitting and discussing. Wonpu said. Assistant coach Namkhon-il is so cool. Mao Ringbo replied. He analyzed our weaknesses and mistakes accurately. Wonpu continued. Not only accurate, but he also explained everything in detail. I understand him better than the way the devil-faced master teaches. Yagami spoke up. According to my mother, he is one of the innate martial arts geniuses that only appear once in 100 years. Nam Kong Sian's sister defeated the bandits of Luksun province in Anhui in just 5 days. They will be a strong wall that everyone who has enrolled in the martial arts school must overcome. At this time, everyone turned to look at Nam Kong Mei and teased him happily. You must have your own talent. Nam Kong Mei is not a genius, but he is still trying. Nam Kong Mei is stupid. We are thinking like losers again. Damn it. Big brother outside saw that and thought. When he was at home, he never smiled like that. Something must have changed. Well, something must have changed, but that won't change my decision to take him home. But why did the devil-faced master give me these kids and then go somewhere? On this side, after hearing assistant teacher Zhang say that, the master left to find out who that person was. First, I should find the black flower. At an inn, the leader of the Furious, one of the top 100 martial arts Gosu, was just a normal worker. But people thought he came from the demon sect because he went crazy every time he drank. However, when he was sober, he was very polite and calm. He was asking a scholar, "Why do you want to find the Tanbai tree?" The scholar said, "He is the devil-faced master." He continued, "I want to see him, the one called the Tansy tree. You will lead me to him, right?" The leader of the madmen replied angrily, "Listen carefully, you sicko. Pretend you have never heard of that name, or you might die without anyone knowing." As soon as he finished speaking, he was beaten by the devil-faced master, who said, "I'll say it again, take me to the Tansy tree." The devil-faced master walked in thought. When did the leader of the madmen become a member of the House Association? He knew that the House Association was founded by the lower class of society. It was more of a trading agency that specializes in buying and selling information than an association. If someone said that the beggar sect had beggars who collected information during the day, then someone else would say that the beggar sect hunted for information at night. When he arrived at the inn, the master went straight into a room. The person sitting in the room saw him and said, "It seems that you have recognized my presence, very sharp intuition." The master smiled and replied, "Long time no see, Olalu of the Dark Point." At night at the school, Nam Kung Mei was practicing when his senior brother suddenly attacked him from behind. He could not resist, and Nam Kung Mei was beaten by his senior brother, who said, "You should tell the devil-faced master that you will go back home." Nam Kung Mei shouted, "I don't want to." Then he unleashed his power. His senior brother was shocked. How can two completely different energies appear at the same time? What did the devil-faced master do to you? At this moment, Nam Kung Mei shouted, "Heavenly Sword Art, the first technique, Twin Dragon Binding Fist." His older brother said, "You still only know how to use the Twin Dragon Binding Fist." He shouted, "Penetrating Hand, Cross Fight." After a while, his senior brother asked, "Do you still want to continue?" Nam Kung Mei answered, "Senior brother, I really don't know when and how to give up." His senior brother sighed, "I really can't make you stop being stubborn." "Fine, I won't force you, but there is one condition. As an assistant teacher, I will try my best to teach Mao Ring Bo for a month. After a month, if you can defeat Mao Ring Bo in a martial arts contest, I will let you stay at the White Martial Hall." Elsewhere, the devil-faced master was explaining, "Why don't you believe me?" The other person attacked and yelled, "How dare you impersonate our leader? I don't know who sent you here, but they must have given you wrong information." The leader of the masked demons is a handsome man. The masked demon master thought, "I have never shown my face to him, what is he talking about? Forget it, I will force him to believe what I say." Then he unleashed his power. The other person was shocked by this source of power. Could it be the original reverse technique of the leader? Impossible. Before he finished speaking, he was knocked down by the masked demon master. He crawled on the ground and said as he got up, "The energy source you just attacked me with is the original reverse technique. Are you really our leader? He took off his mask. Then the masked demon master said, "Why are you late?" He replied, "I brought wine and meat here. You are really our leader. You are very powerful and reliable." The master replied, "That's the past, just the past. You are the intelligence agent of the Dark Flower Alliance, right? How can you believe such nonsense rumors?" The other person replied, "Oh, it's because Dark Plumflower said he accidentally saw your face. This is a sketch of your portrait based on what he saw. Why did you come to see me? I thought it was better for us not to keep in touch." The master replied, "Dark Flower Cat, you must know what the other members are doing, right?" The other person replied, "The others? Do you mean the horrible incidents in some families?" The master continued, "I heard that a masked demon impostor pretended to be me. I have to find out his identity." The other person said, "Leader, you don't know, we don't have any resentment towards you for leaving us." The master replied, "Yes, that's the personality of the people when I was a member of the Dark Flower Alliance. Helping you is natural. But let's clear this up first. I'm not a member of the Dark Flower Alliance anymore. If you want to use me, you have to pay me." The massacre has been spread all over the central continent. The bandits, who have recently gained a lot of infamy, have been killed in many places. We found their corpses along with traces of sword wounds and other weapons. Because there are many types of weapons used to kill them, we can't identify who did it. There's only one clue left, the words carved in blood. I also agree that there is a possibility that the masked demon impostor was once in the Dark Flower Alliance. But with the traces of the weapons, we can't tell which one of them did it. You trained us to use all kinds of weapons, so we can keep our identity secret. Anyway, wherever that masked demon impostor appears, there is always that thing. That thing. Have you ever heard of the explosive energy pill? It is a kind of drug that is secretly circulated in the central continent. It is known as a drug that enhances your power instantly. After swallowing it, anyone would search for it. The master replied, "I have seen someone swallow it, but he did not stop even when he lost his consciousness and exhausted his core energy. That is not a normal medicine, but why do people search for it so much?" The other person answered, "I don't know what effects it has besides enhancing, but its purpose is not to increase internal power, but to make the warriors fearless of death. There are many people who continue to advance and live for revenge." The master said, "So you are saying that the explosive energy pills were found where the fake demon face appeared?" The other person answered, "Yes, I don't know why, but you will find out when you meet him in person." At that moment, a pigeon with a letter flew in. The other person read the letter and said, "You will be able to find out the identity of the fake demon face faster than you think. The explosive energy pills have appeared." On this side, Nam Kung Il was talking with Mao Ring Bo. They had made a deal. Nam Kung Il would guide Mao Ring Bo to advance, but in return, after a month, he had to fight with Nam Kung Mei. After the exchange, they started to practice real combat against each other. He was defeated many times, but Mao Ring Bo also learned a lot. Solyang is a small state located in Samsang. Here, the state lord went crazy and killed everyone after taking the pill. At that time, the demon face master also arrived and stopped him, but he still died. The master looked at the graves. He had muttered those words many times. The master remembered the words of the other person. Wherever the fake demon face appeared, there was always a golden energy explosion. He suddenly thought that he could find such a person, soon. But he did not know that they were too few. Next was Satrian, but he did not like to go to Satrian. The waiter who was cleaning nearby asked the other person, "Sir, I have a question. Why did you lie to that thin and sick man? The guy he was looking for had also come here before." The other person answered, "That is obvious. We can make more money if it takes more time to find him. So he knew the fake demon face, but he hid it from the demon face master. On this side of the class, because Union was weaker than everyone else, he became the focus of Nam Kung Il's talk. In the training sessions, Nam Kung Mei comforted and asked her about the medical faction. The medical faction originated from a village that had used the art of medicine and medical skills from generation to generation. In fact, this faction was more inclined to be doctors than fighters. To save the wounded in the war, the medical faction was sent to the battlefield, but they could not survive with only the art of medicine. So while healing the fighters, they learned martial arts and created a faction. And the reason Union came here was also because the martial roots of the medical faction were still weak, so they let her come here to learn the basics. On this side, the Mao class was training. Some people gathered and carried a large stone, making everyone amazed. Even Fong Bim, who was nearby, was attracted. But at that moment, the girl Yuren shouted, "I want to see young Master Nam Kung Mei right now, I can't stand it anymore." She left everyone and ran away. Seeing that, Fong Bim, who was free, also ran after her. On the other side, Nam Kung Mei was practicing alone. He read the second letter as Master left. It said that the next step of the two-way split was to combine the two external energy sources. We call this step reverse red flower, maximizing the thrust of the two different characteristics to increase the true energy, which is also to oppose nature at the same time. After reading, he started practicing. At the climax, the imbalance of power between the two sides caused an explosion. Miss Orion rushed to catch Nam Kung Mei, causing her to get injured. Fong Bim also arrived in time to help her bandage. When he finished, he asked Nam Kung Mei what kind of martial art she was practicing. Nam Kung Mei hesitated for a while and said softly, "I'm sorry, I can't tell you that." Hearing that, Fong Bim replied cheerfully, "That's right, it's not right to tell others about your master's martial arts. But the process is too dangerous to practice alone." Hearing that, she told him about her martial arts match with Mao Ringbo after a month. "So that's why you're trying to push yourself and overcome this step?" Fong Bim said, "I don't know what kind of martial art you're learning, but it seems to me that it's not balanced." Nam Kung Mei asked in surprise. "Balanced?" Fong Bim continued. "Your young energy is too strong and it will break the balance. To overcome that, you will need strong energy. Is there any way to achieve that?" Just then, Orion, who was unconscious next to them, sat up and shouted, "Yes, there is." It startled the two of them. She continued, "What you need is strong energy, right?" The next morning, the whole group went to the field to see the schedule for the qualifying round. Their opponent this time was the Su class. Just then, the Su class's Ianung and the Su class's Healthy stood next to each other and talked. The Su class's Healthy said, "Our big brother will surely win, they must be so weak that they have to hide and run away, ha." Someone standing next to them shouted, "Bastards, what the hell are you talking about? I'm Yagami from the T class, the class that you think is lucky." They exchanged words for a while, then Jigami rushed to slap the Su class's Ianung, surprising him. He rushed to punch back but Yagami dodged it. The punch hit Nam Kung Mei's face. At that moment, Nam Kung Mei was thinking about Orion's words about using ice energy. "This is pure and powerful energy," she said. "I heard about it when the Martial Alliance was newly established. We gave one of the pure ice crystals." Hearing that, Fong Bim said, "Leave this to me to find out, come back here tonight." Nam Kung Mei thought that she was not sure if she could control the strong yang energy with the pure ice crystal. If she didn't have the permission of her master Kui Dain, would it be okay? Just then, the fist hit her and woke her up. Everyone shouted, "Nam Kung Mei." But Nam Kung Mei bowed her head and said to the other person, "I'm sorry. I must have bumped into you when I was thinking." It made the Su class's Ionung think that she was mocking him and wanted to punch her again, but he was stopped by the Master Sugo, who came from nowhere and yelled. I've told you that any fight that is not an official martial arts competition is not allowed in the White Martial Hall. How many times do I have to repeat that? Everyone saw the master of the T-class Sugo and ran away, leaving only a few members of the Tai class. The Tai class is also a bunch of students. Forget it. If you don't want to be eliminated, you should know your place until the competition starts. When the master left, Yagami came up and asked Nam Kung Mei. Are you okay? I heard a loud noise earlier. Nam Kung Mei answered. Oh, but I don't think I'm hurt. But why were they so angry? Ju Ji-young thought that he got punched and probably lost his memory. Mao Ringbo outside was amazed and thought. Not hurt at all? On the way back, the Su class's Ionung didn't say a word. He walked and thought. I was the one who punched him, but in the end, the one who broke the bone was me. Who the hell is he? At night, the three of them, Fong Bao-kim, Aaron, Nam Kung Mei met again on the training ground. Fong Bao-kim led them to the pure ice crystal. He walked and looked at Nam Kung Mei, who said. The pure ice freezes everything around it. As long as you control the airflow, you can absorb the energy of the pure ice. Aaron answered, that's right, the pure ice is called the treasure of the North Sea, the lonely heart of the Russian section. It is a cultivation method that can transform internal power into yang energy. Fong Bao-kim replied, but isn't that going to disrupt the harmony of yin and yang? Aaron continued, anyway, the martial arts of the Russian sect do not care about the harmony. The Russian sect is a sect that takes Buddhism as the root. The disciples follow the teachings of the Buddha because they have grasped the laws of nature and transcended the rules of the yang world. To be able to master the martial arts of the Russian sect and to perfect it, one must completely eliminate the 7 emotions and 6 desires. Fong Bao-kim replied, is that so? Because most of the internal power is yang energy. If you can't control it completely, the lack of yang energy will affect your appearance. So that's why the master of the Mao class and the younger disciples have different appearances. The place where Fong Bao-kim took everyone to was the residence of the leader of the alliance. Everyone had to cover their faces and sneak in. Just as everyone arrived at the door of a secret basement, someone came. Fong Bao-kim went to distract them and let the two go down first. At this time, the person who came in was none other than the leader of the alliance. He saw Fong Bao-kim and said, let's see who we are entertaining. What are you doing here, Mr. Fong Bao-kim? Fong Bao-kim replied. Old man, why don't we have a drink? Wang Jun, the immortal swordsman and leader of the martial arts alliance, said. Drink? Actually I'm also thirsty. He said, and the two went out to drink. Wang Jun asked him if he had found someone suitable to take as a disciple. Fong Bao-kim replied. I found a few. Wang Jun continued. So, among the group that followed you here, is there anyone? You should improve your acting skills, it's obvious. Fong Bao-kim replied. So you know, I apologize for not informing you in advance. Wang Jun laughed, are you really apologizing to me? I didn't expect to see you admit your mistake one day. Fong Bao-kim continued. There's a kid who needs pure ice, so we had to borrow it for a while. Wang Jun laughed and said. I'm sure you know that it's not something you can just come and borrow with your bare hands, right? On this side, Nam Kung Mei and Orion came to a door. They stopped and opened the door and went in. Mei was happy to see the block of pure ice in front of her, but she saw Orion next to her with a strange look in her eyes. She showed 2 beams of light, and she seemed to lose her mind and went straight to the block of ice. Seeing this, Mei tried her best to stop her, but she was knocked away several times. Finally, he hugged her legs tightly, preventing her from moving. At this time, she tilted her neck and screamed, and 2 beams of light flew straight into the sky from her eyes. Outside, Fong Bao-kim was sitting and muttering. I was too curious, now I have to do a troublesome thing. Suddenly he saw two beams of light and exclaimed, "Is it the kids?" Inside, May remembered what Yurin had said before. "If I touch that thing with my bare hands, I'll freeze to death." Since she couldn't stop it anymore, she rushed to snatch the block of ice before Orion. At this time, Fong Baoqin rushed in to break the block of ice before May absorbed it, but he was too late. There was only a little bit of pure ice left. He checked May's body and exclaimed, "Damn, it's already stabilized in the heart energy. How the hell did it assimilate with the kid's heart energy so fast? If I pull out the ice crystal in this situation, the boy might die. But if I leave it like this, it is also very dangerous. I have no other choice. Kid, you should feel lucky. I will help you endure the ice crystal," he said and transmitted the dragon spirit energy into him. After a while, he sighed. "Phew, it's okay for now. But if you can't control the energy source of the ice crystal, the negative energy will block your meridians and make you breathless. But if you can master the energy source of the ice crystal, then that is your destiny. Little guy, good luck. If you can turn it into your power, I will put you on the list of candidates who can become my disciple. After cleaning up this place, let's leave." After everyone left, Wang Jun came to check. He looked at the remaining ice crystal and wondered if it had shrunk in size. Or is it just my imagination? In another place, an old man was carrying a bunch of children to a base. It turned out that he was the one who talked to the masked master before. He was the information manager of the Black Flower Alliance, named Black Kasha. He was disguised to collect information. Inside the base, he found out that this was the place where the people used people to test drugs. He wanted to follow them to find out the origin of the drugs, but he couldn't ignore the children, so he decided to go and save them. After saving the children, he broke the door and ran out, meeting the leader and some others standing by the car carrying the explosive chi pills. He shouted, "Is the deal done? You have to know that information is very valuable." The leader shouted, "Who are you, you bastard?" Black Kasha replied, "Maybe it's been a long time since people were arrogant when they saw this mask. If you don't know, you better die. Gold coin soul bullet technique," he said and threw out a lot of coins. The leader saw that and yelled, "What are you guys doing? Stop this bastard quickly." The subordinates didn't have time to touch Black Kasha. They were pierced by the coins and died instantly. Black Kasha moved forward and continued, "I don't care about your business, but messing with children is too much," he said and gave him a palm that blew him up. At this time, the masked master also arrived. Outside he saw the fight and thought he came to settle the matter of false information. "But I think I have to wait a little longer." When it was quiet, the masked master went in and saw Black Kasha picking up the coins. He said, "Oh my, you made this place a mess. If you always pick up those coins, why don't you throw something easier to find?" Black Kasha was startled and turned around. "Leader, why are you here? My martial art is called Gold Coin Disaster. At least I have to perform it according to the name, don't you think so? We are not much different from the kids." It turned out that because all the members of the Black Flower Alliance were orphans, Black Kasha reacted strongly when he saw the children. The masked master said, "Wherever there are explosive chi pills, the fake Rimyung will appear. Did the fake Rimyung mention you?" Black Kasha was shocked and said, "Leader, are you kidding me?" The masked master replied, "If you keep lying to get more money, I will kill you." Black Kasha replied, "Leader, you saw it too. I think the circulation of the pills has changed. I'm also investigating this. The explosive chi pills were sold very carefully, but now they are spread everywhere in the Central Plains with large quantities. It seems that we are chasing the fake Rimyung. He is the suspect of the massacres. But in my opinion, the explosive chi pills are the center of all the problems. How should I say it? I feel like there is an invisible hand controlling it. As soon as I collect more information, I will send you a letter. Why don't you go back to the Martial Alliance now? The masked master replied. Alright, it's been 2 weeks since I left. I think it's time to go back. By the way, I've told you this before. But if you lie again, I will kill you. He said and left. Black Kasha stood alone and thought. I'm sorry, leader, but I don't think I can let you meet him right now. I have something to ask him. In the distance, the pill transporters saw the scene of devastation and exclaimed. This is where we just traded. Another person said, forget it, we still have a long way to go. We only have the task of transporting the materials. After the deal, whatever happens to them has nothing to do with us. At the Tang family in Sichuan, the person who was expelled from the White Martial Hall was guarding the Tang family head. He shouted. Hun Muji stammered and replied. It was because I was tricked by Nam Kong Mei, so I had no choice but to use poison. And Ji Gang Tang yelled. So you mean, even though you used one of the 8 deadly poisons, you still lost to a kid from the Nam Kong family? You idiot, what will people outside think of our Tang family? And you dare to come back here without bothering to take revenge. You are the disgrace of the Tang family in Sichuan. I will abolish your position of young master. I don't want to hear your explanation, get out of my sight. Tang Weiju heard that and left indifferently. At this time, Ji Gang Tang asked the person next to him. How is the supply of goods? The subordinate named Su Ha Tang replied. The supply in the Tang family is going on without any hindrance. But he wants us to increase the quantity of goods. It seems that they are being hunted. After being discovered, they also asked for help to distribute the goods. Ji Gang Tang asked. Is that to mislead the pursuers by dividing the work? He is a smart guy. Su Ha Tang continued. Sir, what if we let the young master take charge of distributing the goods? Anyway, we need someone we can trust. If he acts with the Black Moon team of the Tang family, he will be fine. Ji Gang Tang replied. I'm old and I only have that kid, so I'm a little worried. Alright, just do that. It turned out that Tang Weiju was the one in charge of delivering those orders. On this side, Nam Kong Mei had woken up. Fong Bim was transmitting the spirit energy to him and said. Because the dragon spirit energy is surrounding the fragment of the ice crystal, at least it won't spread to the whole body. But we always have to be careful, he is in a dangerous state, we don't know when the ice crystal fragment can explode. Aaron was sitting next to him and apologized. Young Master Mei, I almost lost my life because I tried to save you when I was attracted by the ice crystal. I will take responsibility for you for the rest of my life. Imagining a passionate love, he was splashed with cold water by Fong Bim. Fong Bim shouted. Forget it, you didn't mean to do that and everything is fine now, no need to worry too much. Making Orion angry, Nam Kong Mei thought. Isn't it very dangerous to have ice crystals in the body? Then why do I feel so light? Nam Kong Mei led the two to the training ground and said while running his inner power. This is what I want to experiment a little. He thought in his head that since he had no more excess yang energy, he might be able to use the skill in this state. The yin energy from the ice crystal was neutralizing the abundant yang energy flow. Now he tried to push the reverse origin to the limit. Polar reversal, the wind sword outside witnessed it and was amazed. It was extraordinary, it seemed that the kid could finally absorb the ice crystal. At this time, the devil-faced master also arrived and saw this scene. He secretly exclaimed how terrifying it was. What's going on? He observed Nam Kong Mei's body and saw the ice crystal or the treasure of the North Ocean and the dragon's true energy surrounding it. Somehow they all stabilized the flow of yang energy. What was happening? Was this a fantasy martial arts movie or something? At this time, Nam Kong Mei happily said to his master, Master, I have successfully reversed the polarity. Really, can you show me? The devil-faced master replied. Hearing that, Namkungme said, "Yes, sir." Then he demonstrated it again for him. The devil-faced master watched and thought, this polar reversal was beyond his imagination. Polar reversal was a step in which the positive and negative energy split applied a little technique compared to reversing the origin from the outside. And it was absorbed by understanding the vision and body. This was a step that could be understood and absorbed by one's body and vision. Just then, the power had gathered enough in Mei's two hands. He turned to ask his master, "Can I shoot now?" The devil-faced master was still wondering what to shoot when he shouted, "Aya," and pushed his two hands forward. The polar reversal power shattered a large area of the forest, leaving both of them dumbfounded. The devil-faced master thought it succeeded, but the kid's body was not ready to release it. Namkungme then turned to ask his master, "Does the polar reversal really destroy?" Before he finished, the master replied, "Yes, it is a very scary skill. The destruction like this will." Before he could finish, Mei fainted and fell to the ground. The master continued, "Of course, it will drain the kid's internal energy." A while later, Namkungme woke up. The master said, "Your innate energy has increased a lot thanks to the ice crystal and the dragon's bone energy. For you right now, it must have been too much to handle. The important thing in the polar reversal process is the balance between the energy flows. Although the energy flows are usually naturally stable, your body cannot withstand such a strong source of energy in the current state. Therefore, the damage was inevitable." Mei thought he was too impatient. He said, "I'm sorry." At this time, the master asked him why he was in such a hurry. Mei hesitated and said, "Actually," then he told the master about the competition with Mao Ring Bo. The master listened and said, "To be honest, I expected something like that. But unless I decisively allow it, the use of polar reversal is absolutely forbidden. From now on, we will focus on training your body." He looked up at a nearby mountain and said, "Today, climb to the top of that mountain and come back to the dormitory to rest immediately." Mei replied, "Yes, sir." Then he ran away. After Mei left, the devil-faced master said, "Thank you for helping my disciple." Hearing that, the wind sword appeared and said, "You don't have to thank me. After all, I'm also thinking of making the kid a candidate for my disciple." The master replied, "That kid Namkungme is already my disciple." Fong Bim replied, "Don't you think that the boy could become my disciple if his master disappeared?" Master Dian answered, "Thank you for your concern, but it's not necessary. I will take responsibility for my disciple until the end." Fong Bim laughed. "Oh, you don't have to worry too much. The boy is just a candidate. The top candidate from the thin class, who I really like, is a genius that appears once in 1,000 years. The winner will surely be that boy." Master Dian said, "You have already found such a good disciple, so why are you spying on other people's disciples?" "Well, we all have our own reasons." Fong Bim said. A few days later, the qualifying round of the Bakfu tournament began. The members of the Thai class went to the arena. Yagami said, "This martial arts competition is like a festival for the people. But I haven't seen Mao Ring Bo since this morning. Will he be here before the match starts?" Mei thought, "It seems like he comes back late every night. What is he practicing?" At that moment, they saw a beggar boy being bullied. Mei saved him and gave him all his savings to buy food. Before leaving, the beggar boy knelt down and said, "Thanks to you, this poor beggar didn't starve to death. I will surely repay this debt one day." Mei said, "It's okay, I'm happy if you're full." Then they left and went to their waiting area. Mei looked at the Su class and thought, the Mao class will fight the Mui class, and our opponent is the Su class. But they look so fierce. Then, a master stood up on the stage and announced, "Although it's not the final round yet, I'm very glad that you all came to watch the martial arts match at this Bakfu Hall. The qualifying round will last for 2 days. The event that you have been waiting for so long is about to begin. The Mao class and the Mui class, please step onto the stage. Below, Master Kui Dian said, "Where's Mao Ringbo? Does anyone know where he is?" Yagami said, "Since a few days ago, he and the assistant teacher have been disappearing frequently." Hearing that, the master said to the assistant teacher, "They must have some interesting plan. Do you remember what I taught you? There might be many unexpected actions. What should you do in that situation? We have to destroy the morale of the enemy team." At that time, the first match also ended. The master declared, "The winning class in this round is the Mao class. Next, the Su class will fight the Tai class. Please get ready." Right then, Mao Ringbo also arrived. Everyone was shocked to see him. His arms and legs were weighted. Mei thought, he must have trained with his big brother until now. The master spoke up because everyone had gathered here. "Now we will announce the leader of the Tai group. That is Young Jiong." It turned out that in the secret ballot, Young Jiong received 2 votes, while Mei received 1 vote and Jagami received 1 vote. Enun Ryong was stunned. "I am the leader? But how can I be the leader of the group?" Everyone was cheering for her when Mao Ringbo spoke up. "Miss Unryan, this has been decided by the majority of voters. If the leader acts like that, the whole group will weaken." Young Jiong hesitated and apologized. "I will act according to my position." Seeing that, the master replied, "Now that we have elected a leader, from this moment on, you will follow Young Jiong's instructions." Young Jiong said to the members of the group, "Our main goal is to break the ranks of the enemy and turn it into a duel. Yagami, based on the martial arts characteristics of the Su group, they will launch attacks on the ground. That means we have to get them off the ground to disrupt their formation." One Pu spoke up. "If we want to prevent them from contacting the ground, I think I have an idea." Everyone listened and then went to the arena. In terms of strength, except for Mao Ringbo, the others are not to be worried about. I will deal with the bastard standing at the back. Yan San, the leader of the Su group, said to his members. However, the true strength of the Su group is the attacks from the ground. With the primitive power and high team spirit, we will start the battle without arranging the formation. Let's go! The master shouted. The fight begins, and both sides rush into the fight. At the beginning, the Tai group was surrounded by the Su group. To break the siege, One Pu stepped forward to open the way for everyone. But it turned out that the Su group had calculated. They wanted to surround Mao Ringbo and attack him first, then attack the other members later. At this time, Mao Ringbo was surrounded by Nam Kong Mei. Mao Ringbo spoke up. "You don't interfere, let me break their siege," he said, and then rushed into the Su group's formation. The outside master saw that and said to Nam Kon Il, "You taught him well." Nam Kon Il replied, "The people of the Mao clan are really different. The kid is a talented child." The master heard that and said, "All the kids here are talented. You just don't see it. Discrimination will only make them grow slower. You have to look at the kids with a broader perspective. Evaluating the world by what your eyes perceive is not too foolish." Nam Kon Il wondered if he said that because he knew his worries. He must be the person that his father recognized as talent. He reached the peak faster than others, but he could not break through the next realm. The captain of the Buffalo class tried to stand up and shouted loudly, "Everyone, get up." What did I just say? The Buffalo group never falls. The members of the Buffalo class started to get up again. Young Jiong saw that and yelled, "I will try to block their attacks." As she said that, she threw darts at the acupoints on the opponents' bodies. The members of the Buffalo class who were hit by the darts were amazed and thought, how can she aim so accurately at each acupoint? Damn, we are slowing down. Yagami shouted, Let's each handle one of them. Then they jumped forward. The leader of the buffalo class saw that and looked up at the sky and screamed. Ah! A surge of power came from his body and pushed the darts on him down. Young Jeong was shocked and thought, I already hit his acupoints, but how can he force them out like that? The leader of the buffalo class roared and rushed towards young Jeong. At the critical moment, Mao Ringbo and Nam Kong Mei blocked him and knocked him away. At this time, the master on the field also announced that the victory in the second match belonged to the dragon group. The master of the buffalo class sat down and thought, my disciples have been defeated. They are truly worthy of being the disciples of the devil face. Nam Kong Il was astonished and looked at young Jeong and thought. She slowed down the opponents by hitting their acupoints and blocking their blood flow. I didn't expect her to have that ability. And the others too, they did better than I expected. Does that mean I was wrong? At this time, one of the members of the buffalo class who was lying on the field put a pill in his mouth and thought, I won't let things end like this. Luckily, Nam Kong Mei saw it and remembered the assassins who used drugs before and shouted, everyone, be careful. At this time, the devil face master also appeared and grabbed the hand of that person. He said, so that thing has also spread within us. He tapped his forehead and made him faint and said, One Buang master, I will take this kid away for a while. Then he carried him away. The devil face master carried him to a secret room. The leader of the alliance said, I think the martial arts world should also know about this, so I came to inform you. I heard that the Red Army is looking for the devil face impostor. Instead of this, they should investigate the violent energy pill. Seeing that, the person standing next to the leader thought, he knows our every move. The leader also turned to him and said, from now on, change the target, from the devil face impostor to the violent energy pill. And immediately take this child to the medical hall for care and investigation. The other person accepted the order and left, leaving only the devil face master and the leader. The leader asked, how is your body? The devil face answered, not much different from before. Hearing that, the leader said, since you are teaching at the White Martial Arts Hall, I want you to stay away from the affairs of the martial arts world. I want to reward you for your great contribution to the alliance. But now I can't do that anymore. Can't you spend the rest of your time for yourself? The devil face thought for a while and answered, there are still some things I did in the past, so this is something I have to do. The leader heard that and said, forget it. Remember, I'm always here with you. The first day, the horse, dragon, and rat groups won the qualifying round and entered the semifinals. The second day of the qualifying round, the rabbit, pig, and dragon groups won. Now there are only 3 weeks left before the semifinals. After everyone returned, Nam Kong Mei devoted himself to training his physical strength. He was carrying a large stone by himself and thinking that he must have become stronger, but his internal energy did not increase at all. He was still too weak compared to Mao Ringbo. He had to become stronger. Nam Kong Il was standing from afar and watching Nam Kong Mei's thoughts when his master came and said, are you worried about your younger brother? Nam Kong Il did not admit it and just said that he was passing by. His master smiled and said, let's assume that's true. How do you feel about teaching the group of T? Nam Kong Il replied, except for Mao Ringbo, I have understood the limits of the other children. Jagami is too arrogant about his intelligence, always trying to surpass others and not cooperating with the other disciples. Wulpio is impatient and unlike the monks of Shaolin Temple. I think he will be a hindrance in the elimination round, especially with the poor thinking of young Jeong and the lack of basic skills. It will surely endanger the whole group. His master said, you sound like you were wrong before. Your thoughts were based on your arrogance and discrimination. Then his master continued. Jagami's pride is too big, but he understands the importance of teamwork. With his flexible thinking and quick decision-making, he is like the head of the snake. Wulpio is rude, but he has a strong determination and cares about the other children. This is suitable for a monk of Shaolin. He is the body of the snake. Young Jeong seems weak, but he is braver than anyone, so his inner will is very strong. He is the tail of the snake. Because of these children, Mao Ringbo and Nam Kong Mei can play the role of the fangs of the snake. I hope this will broaden your perspective. Everything is connected to each other, directly or indirectly, and has a certain function. This is not only limited to the group of T. The clan, the sect, and nature are also like that. Everything in this world has its own role and effect. Hearing this, Nam Kong Il's eyes lit up and he said, I think I understand now. The reason I was given this task was to teach me a lesson. At another place, at night, Hong Quan was fighting with the fake Kui Dain. He heard that Hong Quan's people said they would not chase him anymore but switch to collecting information about the violent energy pills. He thought that the Martial Alliance finally realized the real reason. He knew that the person who reported this to the Alliance leader was Kui Dain. He was furious and shouted, How dare you mention the name of that fake bastard? The Hong Quan person said, He is not a fake. On what basis do you say he is a fake? Weren't you a member of the Black Flower Alliance before? You must know it well. The fake Kui Dain replied, Do you really think that the legendary leader of the Black Flower would go and teach the brats at Bok Fo Hall after the Black Flower Alliance disbanded? He is powerful and upright. He is the great father figure of us. He always puts us above his family. Just a wave of his hand and the sea will split, the mountain will break in half. The enemy will be scared and retreat when they see his mask. Even if his hands are stained, he will never stop destroying the evil cult. He is not someone who sits behind and teaches the young ones, but why do you all call that fake bastard the demon face of our sect? Fine, I will check for myself if he is real or fake. After saying that, he disappeared without a trace. Early the next morning, the Master Demon Face, Nam Kong Mei, Nam Kong Il, and Mao Ringbo gathered at one place. Today was the day of the decisive duel between Nam Kong Mei and Mao Ringbo after a month of agreement. Nam Kong Il announced, We will start the martial arts contest, which is when one of the two sides admits defeat. The match will end and weapons are not allowed. The match begins. Nam Kong Mei was thinking that Mao Ringbo would remove each ring on his body to fight. But unexpectedly, Mao Ringbo took off all of them and rushed to him right away. He shouted, Vu Van de Guen. The speed was too fast for Mei to block. He spat out a mouthful of blood and quickly backed away, thinking, The gap is too big. He is indeed the little dragon of the Mon clan. Nam Kong Mei was beaten badly. Nam Kong Il stood outside and said to the master, Maybe we already know who will win, do you still want to watch? The master replied, I'm not sure about that, I think the eyes of that kid say he still wants to fight. Do you think the Van do you know will give up so easily? The Van do you know is stupid enough to not give up anything, right? On this side, although he was beaten miserably, Nam Kong Mei's will did not give up. After every fall, he would try to stand up. This made Mao Ringbo remember his own memory. He was also in the same situation as Mei, being weaker than his senior brother. But the difference was that the two brothers always loved each other. But because Mao Ringbo's father was known as someone who never satisfied. He always wanted the clan to become stronger and all his expectations were directed at his eldest son, Mao Ringbo's big brother. This made him often beaten by his father. Mao Ringbo bandaged and cared for his senior brother after every time. It was also because of their love that Mao Ringbo decided that he would share his father's expectations and lighten the burden on his older brother's shoulders. But that was when the tragedy began. The two started to practice with each other to help Mao Ringbo in front of his father. The older brother and Mao Ringbo decided to compete in front of their father. But how could they fool his father? But how could he deceive his father? His elder brother was slapped and scolded by their father, who shouted, How dare you boldly act in front of me, thinking I know nothing? From now on, if you show any leniency towards him, I will punish your younger brother instead of you. Mao Ringbo begged for his senior brother's sake, but this only infuriated his father, who then beat him. To stop his father, his older brother attacked him to protect Mao Ringbo. This pleased his father, who grabbed the senior brother by the neck and exclaimed, "This is exactly what I wanted. Go wild, show no mercy at all. Be determined and ruthless against the enemy in front of you, just like our Mongbong family has witnessed 2 demons." After that day, the brotherly relationship between them began to deteriorate. Mao Ringbo held his head, annoyed, wondering why he was reminded of that incident. Fine, I will use all my strength to defeat him. Meanwhile, Nam Kongmei calmed down, feeling the pure ice energy spreading through his body and balancing his energy, realizing he could still fight. The two charged at each other, trading blows. After a while, Mao Ringbo shouted, "I will end this fight, Fong Van Shadowstep." Suddenly, Mao Ringbo created 2 shadows of himself and attacked. Nam Kongmei punched Mao Ringbo in the chest, and Mao Ringbo was surprised when his arm got frozen. The Nam Kong family uses positive energy as their primary internal energy, but how can he use such strong negative energy, thought Mao Ringbo. The masked master outside muttered about the pure ice energy working well. Nam Kongmei, realizing the ice energy was protecting him, thought he could use the reverse flow technique. As he started to use the technique, he remembered that it had depleted all his internal energy before, but now he could control it. Mao Ringbo, shocked at Nam Kongmei's appearance, charged at him, shouting, "Do you think I'll let you use that unbeatable technique, 1,000 explosive fists?" But when the dust cleared, Nam Kongmei was unharmed. Mao Ringbo was astonished, how can his energy not be depleted? At that moment, Nam Kongmei shouted reverse flow technique and pushed his hands towards Mao Ringbo, who quickly shouted frozen rain decisive strike. The two clashed directly, their power exploding and throwing them to the ground. Mao Ringbo then remembered his senior brother, recalling how he wept beside his body and found his diary. He read, "I had to endure loneliness. My younger brother could be in danger if I stayed with him. The expectations of our father should be borne by me, as I am the eldest son. I should focus on hard training." Initially, everything progressed well, but the wall of development was too large. If development continues as before, it could negatively affect my younger brother. Therefore, to break the wall, I needed real experience. I sneaked out every night to find opponents. My senses sharpened with each experience. I thought I could meet my father's and younger brother's expectations. But then, I felt a demon growing inside me, increasingly overwhelming, as if my channels and energy were merging. Everything became chaotic after that, and Mao Ringbo blamed himself for being too weak and abandoning his senior brother. That is why this happened. It's all my fault. He went to find his father and said, "My older brother is not dead, the one who died is me. Bai Meng, please tell others that it is not my older brother who died, but me. And I will give up this name. From now on, I will inherit the name Mao Ringbo in place of my older brother. Since then, to live under my senior brother's identity, I have trained hard, enduring pain, acknowledging that my older brother and I are twins. If my older brother could do it, then so can I." Father no longer punishes me cruelly and has started to guide me verbally. Perhaps this reminds him of senior brother. Thus, I became the eldest brother of the Meng family. Little Longzi Mao Ringbo thought of this as he stood up, murmuring, "If it were a senior brother, he would never lose. I cannot fall now. The name Mao Ringbo that I carry now cannot fail." Nam Kongmei also struggled to stand, thinking, "If I lose this battle, I can no longer stay here. I still want to be here, I must not leave, and above all, I want to become stronger." The two dragged themselves towards each other. Nam Kongmei raised his fist and shouted, "I am the disciple of the masked master, Nam Kongmei." Mao Ringbo also screamed. Each threw a punch at the other. Finally, Nam Kong Mei fell, and Mao Ringbo, clenching his fist, said, "And I am the eldest son of the Hmong family." The fight between Nam Kong Mei and Mao Ringbo ended with Mao Ringbo's victory. However, another battle between the sects remained. The virtuous sect leader Gol Suk shouted, "Wipe out that barbaric freedom sect." A subordinate reported to the leader, "If this continues, our sect will be destroyed." The leader of the freedom sect, Jun Dan, yelled, "Everyone, use it now." Hearing this, all the subordinates took out Dan pills and charged into battle. At the Ji Hadong family, Su Ha Tang reported to Ji Gang Tang that the blood explosion Dan was spreading well and being used in the battle between sections. Ji Gang Tang replied, "Good, we will gradually mark our power across the central lands, excluding the Great Nine sects." Ji Gang Tang left to meet someone, who was the impostor masked master. He said, "Everything is happening as I directed. What about the tale we have been followed by?" The other replied, "Don't worry about that, I have erased all traces leading to the Ji Hadong family. The Tang family need not act for a while, it's time for the demon sect to shine." Hearing this, Ji Gang Tang asked in surprise, "The demon sect has resurrected?" The other answered, "Not fully resurrected yet, but I have given them a new life." Ji Gang Tang asked if this was what he wanted, and the other confirmed, "Yes, all of this is as he wants." On the other side, watching the battle, Nam Kung Il thought to himself, Vandaz matured in controlling energy. How can such a great mix of energies harmonize so well? His master approached and said, "Everything follows the principle of moderation, there will always be light for darkness to exist. This is the natural law for stabilizing the world's order amidst chaos." Nam Kung Il closed his eyes and exclaimed, feeling a surge of power within him. The masked master thought to himself, he realized it immediately, just through a few words and observing the children fight. Nam Kung Il opened his eyes, excitedly saying, "Finally, I have broken through the wall." His master beside him said, "Yes, you have finally reached the middle stage of transcendence. Celebrate later, first let's take the two kids to the hospital." Hearing this, Nam Kung Il was startled and turned to see that Mao Ringbo had also fainted on the spot. At that moment, the beggar boy from before came running in, intending to hide in the room, but saw Nam Kung Mei. Recognizing him, he decided to give Nam Kung Mei a steamed bun, thinking he would need food when he woke up. Just then, Nam Kung Il opened the door and entered. Seeing the scene, he shouted, "Who are you, and what kind of poison are you trying to give to my younger brother?" The beggar boy tried to explain, but Nam Kung Il didn't listen and lunged to attack him. However, for some reason, all of Nam Kung Il's moves failed to touch the boy. Then the boy said, "It's not like that, I was just worried about him. It was just a misunderstanding." He then left, leaving Nam Kung Il standing there, wondering why he couldn't lay a finger on him. At that moment, Fong Bao Sword rushed in and asked, "Did you see a beggar boy around here?" Nam Kung Il simply replied, "He's gone." Fong Bao Sword said slowly, "Too late, the cunning lad." In a dream, Mao Ringbo met his senior brother again. They talked happily, and his senior brother praised him, saying he had done well. He used to underestimate himself, but this time he had truly surpassed his senior brother. "Now you are the real Mao Ringbo, thank you," his senior brother said before his figure gradually faded. Mao Ringbo then woke up, and Nam Kung Mei, sitting beside him, said, "You're awake, I was worried. It seems like you had a nightmare." Mao Ringbo replied, "It wasn't a nightmare, it was a dream full of memories. I think this is the first time I've been this badly injured. The last time I fought in a martial arts match was with my senior brother." As he said this, Mao Ringbo's eyes lit up and he asked, "Initially, you couldn't control your internal energy, right? But you've grown so much and have become as strong as me in just a few months. Now, no one can call you the disgrace of the Nam Kung family anymore." Nam Kung Mei laughed heartily. "Thank you, I've learned a lot from the martial arts match. Even though I lost, I can go home without any regrets now. Just then, Namkung-il came over and said, "If you're awake, follow me. I have something to tell you, Vanda." Outside, Namkung-il asked, "Do you still remember the pact between you and me?" Namkung-mei replied, "Yes, I remember." He thought it was better to prepare himself to say goodbye to his brothers since he had lost. At that moment, the elder brother said to him, "But I don't remember anything about that pact. It seems I have to go home alone. You can stay here. Do you know why I've always been strict with you?" Namkung-mei replied, "I don't know. Is it something to do with our father?" Namkung-il continued, "Exactly, that's part of the reason. If it weren't for your internal energy, father could have reached the peak stage of the infinite realm. To suppress the evil energy in your body, father lost 30% of his internal energy and couldn't break through to the next realm. No one knows when he will have another chance, and because of that, our family's reputation has also declined." Namkung-mei replied, "I know that. I think it's normal for the elder brother to be sensitive to danger as he will be the next head of the family. If I were the elder brother, I would also be very angry." After a pause, the elder brother continued, "But what angers me more is about our mother. She was fragile and sickly, suffering from illness all year round. However, she stayed by your side day and night, knowing you were poisoned. But one day, when mother was caring for you in father's absence, something happened. To soothe the evil energy within you that was becoming chaotic, she used her own internal energy. Later, father concluded that you would never be able to control the peak of yang energy, even though he was sure he had limited that energy deep within your heart chi. That's why he didn't allow you to use your internal energy." At this, Namkung-mei thought, "So, I am the reason for my mother's illness worsening." The elder brother continued, "Father wanted you to live, even if you were called the disgrace of the Namkung family. A few days after mother's death, of course, it wasn't your fault, but I hated you for causing difficulties for our parents. Perhaps at that time, I was too immature, wanting someone to blame. Namkung-mei spoke up, "I thought right and my brothers hated me because I had no talent. I blamed my father and my fate." The elder brother replied, "The problems of this world are very harsh. It's not your fault or the fault of our family. Things just happen. From what I've observed, you don't want to be defeated by your fate and always strive. Now you can perfectly control your internal energy. I have decided to acknowledge you. Remember, you are a member of the Namkung family and a brother to be proud of. I am sure mothers in the other world would also be very happy." Just as Namkung-mei was about to say something, the elder brother shouted, "Watch out," and pushed him to one side. A streak of light struck Namkung-il's arm. In another place, a subordinate was reporting to the deputy leader. "The time has come. Recently, the Martial Arts Alliance has been organizing a martial arts competition called the White Martial Arts Tournament. This is a great opportunity for us to show that the demon sect still exists." Hearing this, the other person's voice rang out, "Those righteous sect bastards are playing games, huh? Brother, indeed, it's worth waiting for. I will destroy their peace." It is rumored that the masked master is teaching his disciples at the White Martial Hall. It seems that he was also seriously injured in the battle with our leader, and that's why he has retreated. If so, things will go smoother than I thought. I will kill his disciples to announce to the world that the demon sect has returned. Everything will go according to plan." On this side, Namkung-mei was in shock upon seeing Namkung-il lose his left arm for pushing him out of the way. Namkung-il shouted, "Now, show yourself." The person laughed, "I was planning to kill you all at once, but you're quite formidable." Namkung-il angrily retorted, "Then stop hiding in the shadows like cowards, come out into the open." At that moment, an old man appeared, saying, "Do you think you're different? Want to try your strength?" Another old man appeared and asked, "Have the injuries from last time fully healed?" The first one replied, "I just spit on them, and they healed right away." "What about you? Have your broken ribs from last time healed yet? As the two old men stood talking to each other, Nam Kung Il gathered his energy and released a palm strike, shouting, "Deadly palm strike." The two men turned and waved their hands, making the strike disappear. One of the old men scolded, "Boy, can't you see we're still chatting? Those righteous sect fools are really stupid." Nam Kung Il told Mei, "These two are the twin blood demons, Noki and Enjin." Mei immediately said to leave and go to the Martial Arts Alliance to report this as quickly as possible. Mei replied, "No, I will fight too. I can't let you get hurt." Nam Kung Il said, "They are experienced martial arts masters, even surpassing me. When I signal you, run away from here, don't think about anything else. Don't you trust me?" Mei agreed, "I will go to the masked master for help. Hold on until then." But as soon as Mei moved, the two old men saw him. One of them shouted, "I didn't give you permission to move. Where do you think you're going?" One of them flew quickly to block Mei. Seeing this, Nam Kung Il flew to save him but was struck down by the other old man. He muttered, "This dark energy, could it be from the demon sect?" The old man laughed and replied, "Not the demon sect, but the god sect. Can't you even handle a kid without me intervening?" The other answered, "Just a small mistake because I was playing with them." As the two old men argued, Mei helped his elder brother up. The elder brother said, "No matter what we do, we can't defeat them. They are at least as strong as our father." Mei was astonished, "Are you saying those old men have reached the infinite realm?" By now, they had reached the edge of a cliff above a stream. The elder brother said, "Yes, so I think this is the best decision we can make." Then, using his remaining strength, he pushed Mei into the stream, shouting, "Survive, Vanda." On this side, two old men spoke up. "Damn it, we've lost one of them just because that person kept wandering around." The other replied, "How is it my fault? You should have been watching them. That person is the very criminal we need to chase, let's go after them quickly." The boss, hearing this, spoke up, "If you want to leave this place, you must first step over my dead body." At the same time, at the Martial Alliance, someone shouted that it was an ambush and everyone should block them. "They are too strong, hurry up." Before he could finish, he was killed. The master of the Hoi group, Gu Man Ho, who was resisting, spoke up, "Who are these monsters?" The master of the Dan group, Jiang Ho, scolded, "Does it matter? If they are enemies, we just need to kill them." The other masters were also engaged in the battle. However, the master of the Mui group, Iang Sungwag, was corralling the students. He yelled, "Don't resist anymore and follow me, or I'll have no choice but to show you what I can do." At that moment, he displayed a dark murderous aura, shocking everyone. How could a martial arts master of the righteous sect possess such dark energy? Just then, the ghost-faced master arrived and grabbed his arm, saying, "I didn't know the master of the Mui group was from the evil section." Yang Sungwag, recognizing the legendary ghost face of the Great War, wanted to test his abilities. As soon as he finished speaking, the ghost-faced master beheaded him, saying, "Sorry, but this isn't something you can see just because you want to." The master then asked everyone if they were okay, and they replied yes. But then he realized that Nam Kung Mei was missing. He asked, "Where's Nam Kung Mei?" Everyone replied that Nam Kung had already left with the assistant teacher, Nam Kung Il. The master thought that the kid would be fine with Nam Kung Il, but he had a bad feeling about this. Meanwhile, Nam Kung Mei was drifting onto a rocky shore, and the person standing before him was none other than the fake ghost face. Over here, the leader of the Martial Alliance was holding a meeting. Based on his actions, the master of the Mui group had been waiting for the right opportunity. "It's uncertain how many spies are still among us." There was a heated debate. The leader shouted for silence, saying that now was not the time to blame others, but to investigate whether the rumors of the evil sect's return are true. He instructed the masters to return to the White Martial Hall as teachers, to reassure the children and protect them. The Alliance will handle the rest, and the meeting was adjourned. Everyone left except for the ghost-faced master. The leader asked if he had something to say. The ghost-faced master spoke, "A disciple of the Tai group is missing." The leader replied, "I've heard about it, it's a child from the Nam Kong family." The ghost-faced master continued, "I believe that the child is the target of the evil section. Most of those who have infiltrated the Alliance are pawns. But the assassin from the Tai group is the master of the Mui group, a martial arts expert from the evil section. I highly suspect they are targeting the children of the Tai group." The leader responded to this. "So, you must also think that the ones ambushing the two young Nam Kong brothers are also formidable martial arts experts." The ghost-faced master replied, "Indeed, Nam Kong Mei was with Nam Kong Il, but now both of them are missing. It's highly likely that someone more formidable than Nam Kong Il has kidnapped them. I want to find my disciple, please allow me to search for the boy." The leader, hearing this, shouted, "I refuse. We don't know when the evil sect will attack us again. Stay here and protect the other children. I will send people to search for the Nam Kong brothers." The ghost-faced master was speaking when the leader interrupted him, "You also know you are not the same as you were before. I have turned a blind eye until now. But with the evil sect's return, I cannot let you go." After leaving, the ghost-faced master met Fong Baojian outside. Fong Baojian said, "I've never seen him refuse a request like that before. I think his illness is quite serious." The ghost-faced master responded, "Everyone will eventually leave this world. I just..." Before he could finish, Fong Baojian shouted, "Stop, don't say any more." "I understand," as he wiped his tears. "Is that his last wish? Tell me more. I will try my best to fulfill his wish." The ghost-faced master replied, "But it's not that I don't have much time left." Fong Baojian interrupted, "Indeed, I completely understand your denial of reality. Don't worry. You want to find the Nam Kong brothers, right? I promise to bring them back. You stay at the Alliance and take good care of yourself." While saying this, he hugged the ghost-faced master. The ghost-faced master didn't know what to say and just clasped his hands in gratitude. The evil sect has launched various attacks throughout the martial world. To support the smaller sects, the Martial Alliance has taken the front line. The White Martial Arts Tournament has been suspended for a while, and the Alliance has officially announced the return of the evil section. The 9 major sects and other smaller ones have gathered to deal with this situation. Under the supervision of the Martial Alliance, the chaos is gradually settling. Even though the Alliance is searching, we at the Nam Kong family should also do something. Send troops to find Il and Mei, ordered the Nam Kong family head. Nam Kong spoke up, "But if that kid is with Il, do we really need to worry so much?" Nam Kong Sian said, "Father, let me go." The family head shouted in response, "Don't underestimate the people of the evil sect, they almost dominated the martial world before disappearing." Meanwhile, the beggar boy was sitting on the ground, being dragged away by Fong Baojian. He protested, "Let me go, I'm not going anywhere." Fong Baojian said, "How can a disciple refuse to accompany his master?" The boy replied, "I've never accepted him as my master, my heart still belongs to the beggar's sect." Fong Baojian angrily said, "How can you be obsessed with the martial arts of the beggar's sect? People are crazy to be taught by me. I can't understand why you act this way." Just then, Mao Ringbo and the members of the Tai class arrived and asked to be led by him. Fong Baojian said, "So you also know where I'm going, everyone wants to come with me? This is not a leisurely trip." Hearing the name Nam Kong Mei, the beggar boy turned to ask Fong Baojian, "Nam Kong Mei, are you talking about that young hero?" Fong Baojian replied, "A young hero, yes. The boy is missing, and there's a high chance he's been kidnapped by the evil section. I will go find him and his brother." Hearing this, the beggar boy thought for a moment, tied his hair up high, and said, Members of the beggars sect never forget to repay a favor, let's go. Fong Bim wondered about the quick change of attitude and said, alright then. He turned to the Thai class members and said, you can also join the Thin and Thai rescue teams for Nam Kong Mei. 6 months later, at a Dan Hon fight between two sects, Nam Kong Mei appeared with a sword and shouted without saying a word. The first form of the heavenly sword technique, twin dragons playing, blew away both groups of people. Without giving them time to react, Nam Kong Mei stepped forward and asked, do you know what you were trying to steal? The man on the ground barely started to speak, we don't know, we just. Before he could finish, Nam Kong Mei's sword pierced through his hand as he shouted, if you don't know what this is, then why do you want it? There's a rumor about elixirs here. Where did you hear it? The man replied, it's just a rumor, I don't know where it originated. Hearing this, Nam Kong Mei sheathed his sword, intending to leave. The fake ghost face behind him said, instead of killing them, you just cut their meridians, what an odd preference. Nam Kong Mei, without turning back, responded, it's better than taking lives, after all, they are not from the evil section. The other replied, meaningless. You've already crippled their martial arts, which is like their life. But fine, if that's what you believe in, continue. Nam Kong Mei then turned back and asked, where do we go now? The other answered, there's a rumor about a wooden box appearing in the southwest, let's head there. As Nam Kong Mei walked away, the fake ghost face thought he saved him because he saw the leader's traces. But the boy is increasingly consumed by the demon inside. However, since he hasn't killed anyone, I just need to observe carefully. Meanwhile, Fong Bim and others were still searching for Nam Kong Mei. Yagami said, we should gather some information. The beggar boy replied, information, right, but where do we get it? Just then, Yagami pointed at his hand and shouted, that's the specialty of the beggars sect, and you come from there. Fong Bim added, you're from the Daga family, aren't you? As expected, people from that family always think outside the box. But currently, the beggars sect must be busy helping the Martial Alliance investigate the evil sect's emergence. Yagami then said, then let's go to my house. Arriving at Yagami's house, he greeted his mother, Mother, are you well? His mother, the family head Riga, replied, you're back without notice, after deciding to enroll in the White Martial Hall by yourself. Everyone was surprised, thinking, he joined the White Martial Hall without permission? Riga continued, I trust you wouldn't do that without a reason, so why have you returned? Yagami answered, I need the strength of the Igo family. Riga responded, I understand, but there are guests here. Let's set aside this matter for now. She then turned and said, I hope you understand our situation. Hearing this, Fong Bim spoke, we came without notice, so it's okay. Just then, Elder Hong Seo Gun entered and, seeing Fong Bim, said, ah, we meet again, are you doing well? Meanwhile, at the Martial Alliance, the ghost-faced master lay in bed coughing up blood, thinking it's happening more frequently. The stronger my reverse flow technique, the harder it is for my body to handle. Just then, a pigeon brought a letter. He read, they're causing chaos in the martial world using explosive chi elixirs, hard to detect early. They are very cautious, but now they are becoming reckless. It's concluded they are aiding the evil sect, they belong to the Sichuan Road sect. Hong Seo Gun entered and said, I didn't think you would stay in the true martial hall for so long, you've never stayed anywhere more than 3 months. IELTS Mujin rushed to hug Hong Seo Gun, calling him master. He happily replied, that's right, once a disciple of the beggars sect, always a disciple of the beggars sect. IELTS Mujin happily responded, you're right, I will be a disciple of the beggars sect until I die. Hong Seo Gun laughed and replied, of course, you are the future of our section. Fong Bim, seeing this, spoke up, you don't know anything. With his talent, he would be better off as my student. Hong Seo Gun replied to Fong Bim, didn't you hear what Mujin said? Once a disciple of the beggars sect, always a disciple of the beggars sect. Lady Riga then spoke up. You both know each other well. If both of you agree, we can discuss this later. The three sat down to discuss. They must want to inform us that the evil sect still exists and is extremely powerful. We have not yet found the two children of the Nam Kung family, so it is possible they have been kidnapped. Fong Bim said, I have heard that the Nam Kung family is taking some actions. Our common goal must be to rescue the children. Hong Xiao-gun replied, instead of following the trail of the evil sect, why don't you search for information about the explosive chi elixirs? Fong Bim asked, what are explosive chi elixirs? Yagami spoke up, it's a type of elixir used by assassins when we were escorting a trade caravan. Absorbing it boosts their internal energy, but they lose consciousness and fight to the death. Mao Ringbo added, in the exam at the White Martial Hall, a disciple from the Ox class also used it. Lady Riga continued, we are still investigating it, but it has been used in battles between various clans, and it has been spread throughout the martial world even before we noticed. Hong Xiao-gun shook his head, how can one of the three greats be indifferent to what happens in the martial world? Fong Bim slammed the table, so being one of the three greats means I have to care about these things? Hong Xiao-gun continued, the thing that made Iran's gang go crazy in the past has reappeared. Due to the large quantity of elixirs and their distribution all over the Central Plains, it must be dealt with by the entire martial world, not just by one individual. Moreover, this is happening at the same time as the return of the evil section. Just then, someone ran in hastily, the family head, we are in trouble. An outer disciple is killing people indiscriminately. Our disciples tried to stop him, but they are not strong enough. Hearing this, everyone immediately left for the location. Upon arrival, Hong Xiao-gun said, his aura is like those who use explosive chi elixirs, be careful. He's lost his mind and won't stop until he's dead. Seeing everyone arrive, the man roared, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. It's an honor to meet the leader of the great Riga family. Everyone was shocked. Has he lost his mind? How can he talk? He's different from the assassins we've encountered before. Lady Riga spoke up, kid, do you know about the elixir you swallowed? The man replied, of course I know, it's the explosive chi elixir. A miraculous elixir that boosts my internal energy. Many martial artists disappear without ever fully maturing. I will also face a similar fate. I have the talent to surpass the disciples of the 9 major sects and the 5 great families. My destiny is not just to disappear like an ordinary martial artist. Perhaps that's a bitter reason for hypocrites like you who hoard all the martial arts secrets and spiritual medicines. Now, I will show this strength to you, the family head of the Riga Igo clan. After saying this, he charged, but Lady Riga knocked him down with a palm strike, flattening him on the ground. They were about to capture him for more information when he suddenly self-destructed and died. At this moment, Nam Kung Sian, the eldest daughter of the Nam Kung family, also appeared. Everyone returned to the discussion, and Sian smiled, saying, I never thought our youngest would have such amazing friends. The thought of you daring to confront the evil sect and risking your lives like this is surprising. Yagami spoke up, since sister has acted, surely Nam Kung he has as well. Sian replied, indeed, I think he has gone to the beggars sect and I came here seeking the wisdom of the Riga Igo family. But it seems even the Riga family doesn't know exactly what is happening, so I will come again next time. As she was about to leave, Lady Riga spoke up, chaotic demon art, people say those who use explosive chi elixirs lose consciousness and fight to the death. But the man earlier still maintained his consciousness, this is what I got from his uniform. I'm not sure, but I think this is related to the explosive chi elixirs. Do you know anything more about this? Lady Riga looked at Hong Xiao-gun and asked. Hong Xiao-gun replied, chaotic demon art, I've never heard of it. But surely someone knows about this. The Tree Tanbai he knows what this is. At that moment, Tree Tanbai was looking at Nam Kung Mei and asking the fake ghost face, how is he? The fake ghost face replied. After learning that the explosive chi elixirs originated from the evil sect, he went berserk. From now on, I have to drug him to sleep. His body is not in a good state. Tree Tanbai said, shouldn't you restrain him a bit? The fake ghost face replied, this child thinks his brothers died because he was too weak. His eyes look like those of the members of the Black Flower Society from the past. Tree Tanbai said, so that's why you've been taking him around in circles? The fake ghost face replied, for various reasons. I can't ignore this kid, it's like seeing myself. Before meeting the leader, Nam Kung Mei was dreaming where he saw his elder brother. He called out, Big brother, are you still alive? His elder brother turned and said, why did you let me die? Give me what you were holding. At that moment, he looked down at his hand and didn't realize when his elder brother's arm had gotten there. He screamed, no, no, and then woke up startled. He walked to the window, muttering, Big brother, I will avenge you, no matter the cost. At the True Martial Medical Center, the doctor said, I've never seen a body like this in my entire career. All his acupoints and meridians are injured. I don't even know how to explain it. It's as if his internal energy is wreaking havoc inside his dantian. The doctor was treating the ghost-faced master, who said, I'm used to it, I know the condition of my body, so you don't need to take care of me anymore. The doctor replied, but the martial world leader ordered me to monitor you. The ghost-faced master replied, I'll explain to him, you can go now. All right, goodbye. The doctor left, and the ghost-faced master started coughing continuously, blood staining his hands. He thought his dantian was gradually losing control. I can endure with reverse flow technique, but my body can't control it anymore. In a year, or maybe even a few months, I don't have much time left. Based on the information I have from DDM, Lu, the explosive chi elixirs are not the only thing disturbing the martial world. If the explosive chi elixirs are an alternative to spiritual medicines, then the chaotic demon art is an alternative to the secret martial arts spreading in the martial world. I believe that the chaotic demon art and explosive chi elixirs are two sides of the same coin. He remembered the words of Hak Hoa Dai, who said that a leader should know well that those who absorb the violent energy from the Bao Kai Dan would lose their consciousness. However, reports suggest that those who learn the chaotic demon arts do retain their consciousness. Even a weaker martial artist would become stronger with this knowledge. So, what if a martial arts master had this technique and could completely control the energy of the Bao Kai Dan? A technique that could control this kind of energy must not be ignored. It has to be tested personally. At that moment, the medicine master turned and said, although I cannot cure you, I have prepared some medicine. But the master was no longer there, only a letter was left behind. It read, something has happened, so I must leave for a while. Please tell the leader that I have been treated well. The medicine master was shocked not because of the letter's content, but because it was written in blood. 30 years ago, the battle for the Tang family's succession in Sichuan began. Immediately after the death of the Tang family head, Siapeng, a debate erupted over who should be the successor. With no consensus among the elders, they decided to let the family members fight each other to the death. The last one standing would be the heir. Upon hearing this, the two sons of the Tang family in Sichuan, Dui Jiak and Chan, discussed the battle. Just after greeting each other, assassins attacked them. After dealing with the assassins, they could not find out who sent them. Ji Jiak suspected it might be their eldest brother, Ji Chaiyan Tang. He said it seemed like their brother wanted to kill all his siblings to become the family head. He had suspected this and came to find Chan. He stressed that to survive, they must work together. Chan would help him become the family head, wouldn't he? Before the Tang family's battle in Sichuan even started, 3 of the 4 potential heirs were assassinated. In a mainstream sect, such a person would be punished, no matter who they were. However, since it was the Jiang family, the elders were pleased with this. And so, the battle for the family head officially began. Chan thought to become the family head, his brother had tried to kill his siblings. He vowed not to let this happen. After the brothers left, the eldest son of the Jiang family in Sichuan, Dui Jian Tang, visited Chan. He apologized for not caring for Chan and asked him to join his side. If he became the family head, he would reward Chan generously. Chan thought back to when he and his mother first arrived, and nobody liked them. Moreover, when his mother died, only Dui Jiak and his two brothers had come to mourn. Dui Jian explained his reasons, saying the elders and his followers had opposed him visiting Chan. It wasn't that he didn't want to. Chan understood, knowing this was the Tang family, he couldn't believe his brother had killed their third and fourth brothers. Dui Jian Tang was about to speak. But before he could finish, two brothers threw a knife from outside, instantly killing Dui Jian. They came in and said that even at the last moment, he was still making excuses for himself. They reassured Chan that the battle was almost over. Chan looked at his dead brother and thought that the killer of their siblings was not himself. In the end, the victor was Dui Jiak, the second son. Although he was declared the family head, the elders overthrew him. They claimed the Tang family's power belonged to the Council of Elders. The inheritance war had severely weakened Ji Jiak, and he was injured, so he couldn't do anything but submit. He was furious, wondering why they dared to turn him into their puppet. Seeing this, Tang Chan asked his brothers, "What do you plan to do now?" Tang Jiak replied, "You don't need to worry anymore." That night, Tang Jiak planned a feast and invited all the elders. Upon their arrival, the elders joyfully sat down at the banquet table and said, "You've done well. We commend you for following orders swiftly. We think we've chosen the right heir." Tang Dui Jiak spoke up, "I have prepared a special gift for the elders." Suddenly, poisonous gas filled the room from the door, causing the elders to panic and shout, "Poisonous fog, why? Why would someone use poison against the Tang family elders?" They arrogantly believed the poison wouldn't affect them, but unexpectedly, all the elders started coughing up blood and screamed, accusing someone of using forbidden demonic poison. Tang Di Jiak spoke, "Indeed, the elders of our Jiang family. It's amusing to see the proud elders of our family lying on the floor like bugs." Having prepared beforehand, Tang Ryak had an antidote pill in his mouth and remained unaffected. Tang Ryak laughed, declaring he would make the Tang family the most powerful in the world, so the elders could now die. This was how Tang Di Jiak seized complete power of the Jiang family in Sichuan and became the real head of the Tang family. After taking power, he forced Tang Chan to ingest a Tang family poison called the Vohin Bat Trui Dak. This poison was designed for the dependent descendants of the Tang family, to prevent them from usurping the direct heirs. The poison wouldn't kill, but it would drain all of Chan's inner strength. Afterward, Tang Jiak sat down, reflecting on everything and laughing to himself like a madman. By faking an assassination attempt, he had made his younger brother submit to him. While taking care of Ji Zhan, he eliminated the weak and useless, finding it an easy task. He was certain the poison was now taking effect, waiting for his little brother to succumb. Meanwhile, Tang Chan, sitting in his room, felt the medicinal pill given by his brothers merging with his dantian. The energy from the pill was spreading throughout his meridians, powerful and seemingly burning everything inside. As his brothers had said, it was just the secret poison of the Tang family, given to dependent descendants. He should not resist it, as his brothers had become the family heads. Suddenly, assassins burst in to attack him. Using his dantian's inner strength caused him problems. He vomited blood continuously, realizing he needed to escape, but there were too many attackers. Collapsing to the ground, he thought that Tang Di Jiak and his brothers wouldn't do this. Then a voice said, "Now you're useless," and threw a series of knives at him. Chan barely managed to cry out to his brothers before falling unconscious. A subordinate approached Tang Ryak, asking if they should check the body. Tang Ryak replied, no need. He can't use his inner strength anymore and is already poisoned. He will die on his own. He arrogantly stated that their father had called Chan a once-in-a-lifetime genius of the Tang family. So who am I, the one who defeated the genius? I am the head of the Tang family, the greatest in this world. Tang Jiak thought, while Chan, not yet dead, rolled down a cliff and regained consciousness. He wondered if his dantian had shattered from using his inner strength, while the Vohin Bat Tang Dak circulated through his meridians. Was he about to die? At that moment, a man found him and asked, who are you, and why are you lying here? Chan, wary, tried to throw a dart at the man but rolled aside. The man caught it effortlessly, surprised by Chan's sudden attack technique from the Tang family. Who is this kid, he wondered. Before he could say more, Chan passed out. When Chan woke up, he found himself bandaged and lying in a bed with the man sitting beside him. He jumped up, on guard, but the man reassured him, saying he looked like a frightened Lenmyo and didn't need to be so cautious. Chan asked why the man had saved him. The man replied, do I need a reason to save a kid who still wants to live? Chan thanked him and, after a moment, added, I don't know what happened to you, but it's a pity your dantian can't be recovered. Have you noticed that because you forced yourself to use your inner strength, you have also lost a large amount of your true qi? He asked. True qi is the life energy, the vitality of all living beings. I don't think you have much time left, he said. Do you come from the Tang family? Do you want me to take you back there? Upon hearing this, Chan replied, I do not belong to that family. Hearing this, the man thought something had happened. He said, we will stay here for a month. You can stay with us until then. Hearing this, Chan hesitantly asked, may I know the name of my benefactor? The man replied, I am Wang Jun, the great swordsman of the Wudang sect. Then, Chan introduced himself, my name is Chan. During that time, Chan spent his days watching others train and practice by himself at night. After a month, while Chan was practicing one night, Wang Jun happened to pass by and was astonished to see him practicing. He asked, why do you know the principles of Tai Chi Chuan? Surprised, Chan asked back, Tai Chi Chuan? Wang Jun, angered, shouted, tell me the truth now. Don't you know that stealing the secret martial arts of another sect is a serious crime? Chan stammered in response, I didn't steal any secrets. Wang Jun demanded, then how did you do it, if not by stealing our martial arts? Chan then said, you showed it to me once. Wang Jun, startled, remembered that he had used this technique to counter Chan's attack when they first met. He sat down, pondering, I will judge this. He then said, show me what you have learned. Watching Chan demonstrate, he realized that Chan had not only imitated the principles of Tai Chi Chuan but also understood the harmony of yin and yang. He's using Tai Chi Chuan to strengthen his shattered dantian, which is incredible. It means there's a possibility of creating an artificial dantian. I've never heard or seen anything like it. This kid is a genius, he thought. Then he said, stop now, as he transferred true qi to Chan, saying, you have found a way to survive on your own. Follow my qi flow. As he practiced, Chan thought about how warm it felt, and his dantian began to stabilize again. The man continued, don't stop the circulation of the inner strength within your dantian. If you continue like this, the poison inside your body will no longer be able to assimilate with your dantian. Over time, Chan grew into a handsome young man. Wang Jun approached Chan, saying, I plan to gather people to fight against the evil sects and create an alliance. I want to be a beacon and remove the darkness from this world. Chan replied, then I will follow you. I don't have much experience, so I don't understand how the world works. But I want to see the world that you dream of. On that day, the Hak Hoa Dai was formed, and the leader of the martial arts world returned. Currently, Tang Zizak sat in the room where he had once poisoned the elders and asked, Suha Tang, do you know why I am drinking here? Suha Tang replied, "Is it to comfort the souls of the departed?" Tang Djiak said, "No, this place is where I started and where I first laid the foundation for my great career." Suha Tang responded, "Is that so?" But he thought to himself that Tang Djiak had killed all the elders of the Tang family here and consolidated his power, making him the most suitable head of the Tang family. Tang Jiak then said, "He has also left." After Suha Tang left, he continued, "I don't know who you are, but you better reveal yourself." Suddenly, a ghost-faced master appeared, and Tang Djiak said, "What are you doing here? Didn't I tell you that we haven't received any orders yet? Is there something wrong?" Realizing something, he exclaimed in shock, You're not him." Hearing this, the ghost-faced master thought he was being mistaken for someone else and asked, "Who are you referring to? A member of Hak Hoa Dai?" Hearing this, Tang Djiak stood up, launched a poison attack at the ghost-faced master, and shouted, "I don't need to answer you." Seeing the ghost-faced master catch his poison with bare hands, Tang Djiak exclaimed, "I understand now. You easily caught the weapon of the Poison King, so you must be the ghost-faced master." Poison, huh? This is the first time I have seen the hero of the battle between good and evil, the ghost-faced master of poison. But even if you are the ghost-faced master, you are not allowed to breach the Tang family's defense system. The ghost-faced master spoke up, "I had no choice because I have a few things to check, regardless of the consequences." Tang Djiak asked what he wanted to check. The ghost-faced master replied, "The Bao Kai Dan." Hearing this, Tang Djiak was astonished but then pretended to be calm, responding, "We too have received orders from the Alliance and are investigating it." "Tang, I heard you are a master at Bokfo Duong. Why are you curious about that pill?" The ghost-faced master answered, "Because the Bao Kai Dan is similar to the Vo Hin Bat Tung Dak of the Tang family." "Tell me, is the Tang family creating Bao Kai Dan?" Tang Djiak said, "I don't know." "How do you know about the Vo Hin Bat Tung Dak? But it seems you've lost your mind. Is this an order from the leader?" The ghost-faced master replied, "Hak Hoa Dai has also disbanded." Tang Djiak then said, "You mean you are investigating on your own?" At this moment, the ghost-faced master took off his mask and said, "Because I am the one who drank the Vo Hin Bat Tung Dak. It's been a long time, second brother." Tang Djiak, shocked, exclaimed, You are Tang Chan. How could you?" The ghost-faced master said, "I narrowly escaped death after being attacked by you, but I don't blame you. Thanks to you, I met my master." Tang Djiak thought, how can he use internal strength despite being affected by that poison? It's impossible. He can't remove the Vo Hin Bat Tung Dak, he must be dying. He spoke up, "I don't know how you are alive or can use internal strength. But I will not let a dead man destroy my plans. I have to ask the martial arts leader about you." He was about to attack but was stopped by the ghost-faced master. "I told you, the master has nothing to do with this. Tell me how the Tang family is related to the Bao Kai Dan." Tang Djiak shouted, "Who do you think I am to?" He was interrupted and overpowered by the ghost-faced master. "Tell me," the latter demanded. Tang Djiak stammered, "As you know, when I took over the Tang family, it was nearly collapsing. We were defeated not only by the Amei sect of Sichuan but also the Qingcheng sect. So, all sects and families united to fight against the evil sects to protect the Central Plains. We shed blood and tears, but that crisis turned out to be an opportunity for us, the Tang family. During the war, the toxic and medicinal products of the Tang family were distributed throughout the Central Plains, accidentally bringing us glory. In the battle, I saw the Mahuyat Dan of the evil sections." He continued, "After that, I conducted research. The source of the Bao Kai Dan is the Mahuyat Dan. If Mahuyat Dan is produced in large quantities, the Central Plains will fall into the hands of the evil sections. I know Mahuyat Dan is a threat. As soon as we saw the pill, we thought if we could combine Mahuyat Dan with the Vohin Bat Tang Dak, it would bring a significant change to the current martial arts world. After the plan succeeded, we created prototypes and distributed them throughout the Central Plains. We did not carefully select customers, from martial artists to children. We gave it to everyone, and I guess the ghost sword is one of them. Do you know how much chaos your actions have brought to the Central Plains? Before he could finish, poison gas filled the room, and the ghost-faced master collapsed to the ground. Tang Due Jiak laughed, saying, "This is M. Swang Troi Han, my latest invention." He continued, "I secretly created it. Unless you have the antidote, even the ghost-faced master cannot withstand it. You should continue living as a dead person. Why do you make me kill you a second time?" At this moment, the ghost-faced master spoke up, "Why did you betray me?" Tang Due Jiak laughed crazily, "It's ridiculous. I hated you from the first look. You and that filthy woman were brought here by the old man's own will. That's what annoyed me. The reason I let you join the team is because of your talent. I was close to you only to take advantage of it. The old man's death before choosing a successor was an opportunity for me. To become the family head as the second son, I had to kill all my brothers. You were just a dog that had to die too." He coughed up blood, the antidote losing its effect as he spoke. He took a pill from his sleeve and said, "If I don't take this pill, my organs will burn like yours, and I will die." Boom! The pill was shattered by the ghost-faced master. Tang Di Jiak cried out in panic, "Damn it, aren't you poisoned too?" The ghost-faced master replied, "The poison you created is strong, but no poison can affect me, because of the Vohin Bat Trung Dak you fed me in the past. I knew you wanted to kill me when I was young, but I didn't realize you hated me to the bone. So from now on, I will not treat you as the younger brother Tang, but as the ghost-faced master." He then put on his mask. "I'll give you one last chance to live. Surely someone is behind all this, controlling the Tang family. Now you better answer me. Because I use internal strength, I can control your blood flow and make the poison in your body circulate faster." As he said this, the ghost-faced master grabbed his throat and lifted him up. Seeing this, he stammered, He is the one who will change the world." Boom! Suddenly, an arrow pierced Tang Di Jiak's head, killing him instantly. The ghost-faced master exclaimed, "Divine archery technique," and then leaped onto the roof to look into the distance. They are more than 8 miles away but still managed to hit him precisely. The power behind the Tang family might be stronger than I thought. Meanwhile, a rescue team was fighting a group from Luke Lam. Luke Lam is an organization of brutal and ruthless bandits, similar to a hornet's nest. Zhang Wang, the leader of the Luke Lam, angry at seeing his subordinates lose, shouted, "I personally trained you, and yet you lose to these kids? Get ready, I will train you twice as hard. Who should I start with, or should all these kids rush in at once? Let me, a disciple of the renowned IELTS sect, handle this." Saying this, he lunged forward with a palm strike, but the man was unharmed and continued, "I heard the palm technique of the IELTS sect could defeat dragons. But I think it's more suited for swatting flies. This is the power of a body trained to the limit." As he said this, he kicked Mumi in the waist. Seeing that the kick only threw Mumi back without injuring him, he was also surprised. But the kid is quite strong for his age. I can see why my subordinates failed. IELTS Mumi thought, this man, he's very strong. Everyone rushed at him together but were defeated in one move and taken to the prison of the Yang Wang gang. When they woke up, everyone wondered where Fong Bim was. IELTS Mumi spoke up, "I'm sure he's hiding somewhere and has gone to sleep." Suddenly, a voice rang out, "We meet again." Everyone turned towards the voice and discovered Nam Kong Sian was also captured and locked in the next room. Not only that, but Yuran was also captured there. Everyone thought that the leader of this place was even stronger than they had imagined. As they were thinking of ways to escape, a subordinate came and said, "Follow me, kids, our boss wants to meet you." Arriving at the place, everyone was surprised to see Fong Bim drinking with the Luke Lam gang. He was drinking and saying, "When will we get to dance? Drinking this much has made my shoulders sore." The leader laughed, "Ha, my interesting friend, I really like you. Kids, come here, I heard you are disciples of this guy. Even though you attacked us, we've decided to be merciful and let you go. Go eat and drink over there." Fong Bim, holding a wine cup, said, "Your kindness is great, but it's not all." He suddenly pointed at Orion and Nam Kung Sien. "I like these two, so they will stay with me," he said. Hearing this, Nam Kung Sien slammed the table and said, "Even if I lose to you, I am still Nam Kung Sien, the eldest daughter of the great Nam Kung family. I refuse to kneel before Luke Lam." Aaron also said, "I already have a fiancé, so I cannot stay here." The leader, hearing this, shouted, "How bold! Here, I am the law." Fong Bim intervened, "Come on, John, big brother, can't you let them go?" Yang Wang replied, "Even though it's your request, my friend, I cannot let them go. If you want to change my mind, you have to beat me in arm wrestling." Fong Bim asked, "Pure strength without using internal power, right?" Jiang Wang said, "A real man must prove himself with the strength of his body." "Are you ready, Fong Bim?" he replied. "All right, let's begin." As the two men wrestled and talked, it was revealed that Yang Wang was a subordinate of the ghost-faced master and the leader of the third team of Hak Hoa Dai. He then said, "If you are his disciple, then you are my junior brother. Feel free to call me senior brother." Everyone responded, "Yes, senior brother." Fong Bim asked, "Why are the Luke Lam trained as well as the military?" Jiang Wang explained, "They said their homes were taken by landlords and had to gather on the mountain and become Luke Lam. Initially, I intended to eliminate them for a reward, but then I felt pity and helped them. They asked me to become their leader, and in the process of training, these people became independent. We have settled here. If there's anything I can help with, please tell me. If it's a request from my junior brothers, there's nothing I wouldn't do." Yagami said, "We are looking for someone called the Tanbai Tree." Jang Ung asked, "The Tanbai Tree, you mean old Lu from the Deepening temple?" Yagami replied, "So, does the Tanbai family also belong to Hak Hoa Dai?" Jiang Wang said, "Ashamed, I'm sorry to say this, but that money-loving old man is also a comrade of mine in Hak Hoa Dai." "Wait, Nam Kung Mei, I think I've heard that name before." "Yes, not long ago, my old comrade brought a kid with him, and the kid's name was Nam Kung Mei." Everyone exclaimed, "Nam Kung Mei came here?" Yang Wang replied, "Yes, although his temperament is quite different from the other junior brothers." "But is he also a disciple of the leader?" Nam Kung Sien asked. "Just one person, was there an older person with him?" Jiang Wang replied, "No, just my comrade and the kid. I heard he's going to the golden dust purification ceremony at Tan Thuong. They say they are on their way to collect the Bao Kai Dan of Tan Thuong. Simbak, he is a great elder of the righteous faction, but behind the scenes, he does not hesitate to use any means to achieve his pleasures. In the process, he has accumulated hatred from many people. To ensure the ceremony goes smoothly, he promised to supply medicine to those who fight for him. And they plan to steal the Bao Kai Dan amid the chaos of the event." At this time, Nam Kung Mei was walking around, waiting for the night to act. On the way, he saw many masters. When he saw a man bullying an old man on the road, he stopped him. The man yelled, "Hey kid, if you get involved in adult matters, you might get hurt. Your guts must have been gnawed by a dog," he said. As soon as he finished speaking, Nam Kung Mei knocked him to the ground and shouted, "Try saying those words again now." The man became terrified and pleaded, "Please, please spare me." Mei replied, "Don't worry, I will only sever your meridians so you can't wield a sword anymore." As Mei was about to raise his sword, a person approached and shouted, "Please stop, I was about to intervene earlier but decided to observe from outside as you were handling the situation quite well." But severing his meridians is not a heroic act. Nam Kung Mei thought to himself about the rusty sword, the country bumpkin speaking as if reading from a book, and said, "Are you on his side?" "No, I also think it was his fault. But this is too much. As a disciple of the Hainam sect, I cannot just stand by. Please stop, that's enough," he said. Hearing this, Nam Kung Mei left. Jian, a disciple of the Hainam sect, watched Nam Kung Mei leave with a murderous look in his eyes, wondering about his backstory. On the eve of the Golden Dust Purification Ceremony, Nam Kung Mei and the ghost-faced impostor infiltrated the event. A carriage procession arrived at Tan Thuong, led by Sim Bak, who said, "I'm sure you all had a hard journey here." A member of the transport group responded, "Thank you for the warm reception, we can now go inside to evaluate the elixirs." As the person took off their cloak, Nam Kung Mei, astonished, murmured, "Tang Weiju, why is Tang Weiju transporting Bao Kaidan?" The ghost-faced impostor asked, "You know him?" Mei replied, "Yes, he is the son of the Tang family, now kicked out of the Bakvo Duong." The ghost-faced impostor said, "The Tang family? This is related to the Tang family? Let's see how far they cooperate." In the office of Tan Thuong, Tang Weiju spoke, "I hear the Golden Dust Purification Ceremony will be held tomorrow, congratulations." "What's there to congratulate? It's just this old man retiring his sword. Ever since I announced the preparation of Bao Kaidan, martial artists have been flocking here like flies. All thanks to the Tang family." Tang Weiju replied, "It's just a small help, all the result of Tan Thuong's upright life." Tan Thuong then shouted, "Let them in." A group of beautiful women entered. "Let's enjoy tonight together," he said. Meanwhile, the ghost-faced impostor and Nam Kung Mei stood outside a warehouse. "This is the place. We have identified the location, let's go back," said the impostor. Mei stood still, thinking, why would Tang Weiju do this? Don't tell me there's cooperation between the Tang family and the evil section. The impostor noticed and said, "You said you knew that kid from before, right? Are you close?" Mei replied, "He's just an old enemy." "Has the Tang family of Tu Shuyan joined hands with the evil sect?" The impostor answered, "I will mention it to Dmo Lu. But it's highly likely. Bao Kaidan is our top priority, so let's focus on that first." Mei thought, "Tang Weiju, you're obstructing my path again." On the day of the Golden Dust Purification Ceremony, Mei blended into the party, thinking, everyone here could potentially be an enemy. Surprising how they protect a corrupt person for their own benefits. Can they really be called righteous? Tan Thuong then stood on the stage and said, "It seems I have not lived a meaningless life. I am delighted that all the heroes are gathered here. This is also the 50th year since I entered the martial arts world. I thank everyone. In this journey, I have accumulated both hatred and love. Today, I will cleanse my hands with golden dust. If anyone objects or has any discomfort, please speak up. I will humbly resolve it with goodwill before retiring."